What is up, everybody? Oh god, we have a lot to talk about. So, I'm really pissed because, never mind the anniversary, but I woke up way too early today, so I am just stupid fucking tired, so it's like hard for me to formulate a coherent thought, which is really obnoxious when, you know, last night DDLB was just like, let's do all this stupid shit in one place. I don't even know where to start. Like, wow, I don't even know. Okay, so 5th year anniversary. I want to point out this is not just like, you know, a whatever anniversary. It's a really big landmark. Music is pretty loud. Yeah, it is kind of loud. Hold on. There we go. Okay, so, you know, really big landmark, and it was. I think this is the worst anniversary we've ever had. So. I just don't even know where to start. There's so many things. Okay, so first off, you know, they added no core mechanics to the game. They added no new game modes, no story replay. There was a brief moment where I thought they were going to add it because they were showing a picture of like the story, like the story map with like new like looking chapters and stuff. But it was just them saying, oh yeah, when you're playing through the story and if you beat an arrow, you get a Saint Quartz fragment now. Which I'm like, great. Right, so it was just a lot of stupid shit like that, and then they showed a picture of like the dailies. I'm like, oh my god, or maybe they're gonna update the dailies. No, they're just making it so if you do the same daily like 3 times, you get more mana prisms. Like, because you know the dailies are great. You know that like, you know, 5% drop rate on gold gems or whatever the fuck. You know, now if you do it like a million times, you'll get some mana prisms. That'll, you know, that fixes things. Yeah, I think it's honestly, this is probably the thing that upsets me the most, is just this game is 5 years old. We have no safety net. We've had no new game modes. They've never fixed the dailies. No story replay. 5 fucking years. It's not like, I'm not asking for some crazy shit, right? Like, this is some basic stuff. You know, a safety net, story replay, dailies that are worth a crap. You know, maybe a boss rush mode or something. This is nothing crazy, right? This is just nothing, bare minimum stuff here. And 5 years in, and you're like, oh yeah, if you do the same daily 3 times, you get some bonus mana prisms. Oh, thanks. Right? Like, that just awful, dude. Absolutely. That was the, out of all this stuff, there's plenty of other stuff for me to bitch about, but out of all this stuff, that is what disappoints me the most. Is just no core gameplay adjustments, nothing improved, no new game modes, nothing, just fucking nothing. Unbelievable. And like, you know, the quality of life updates we've gotten have been awful. You know, the fucking new speed mode makes me like the game less. Just total crap. The only thing they added, quality of life wise, and this is good, but it's just kind of pales in comparison to all the other problems, is now you can respec your command codes for free. Which is pretty nice. And the respec items are now just used to recover your keys. Like if for some reason you're like, you know what, I don't want to have Sanson's quick card unlocked anymore, and I need a quick key to unlock someone else's, you can just respec that now for some fucking reason. But anyway, so now you can respec easier, so that's good. It's kind of a pain, I will say though, because now if you're like doing anything hard or you're soloing with anyone, you basically have to respec every time. Like if I'm gonna make a Calamity Jane video, I might as well give her the best command codes, right? So, and it makes command codes feel a bit less fun. You know, it's honestly, it was kind of fun to balance out your command codes and figure out, okay, my best boy is Coup, but then you know, these other ones get a lot of mileage if I put them on the right units, so I'll put them on, you know, like you. So that's kind of gone now. I mean, that still matters because you can't respec constantly, and your support list is still your support list and everything. But I don't know. I have mixed feelings about being able to respec, but overall, I think it is good for the game, I guess. Yeah, they need to make the UI better, as like Beastly just said, because they're kind of like CEs now. Okay, so ungodly disappointed with just the lack of any real quality of life updates or no new game mode. That just so disappointing. So then they start talking. Oh god, this is fucking GSSR. Oh god, this is the dumbest GSSR. Okay, again, I might do it just because I'm a streamer, right? And people like to see me do it, but I don't. This GSSR is trash. I mean, it's just trash. The different banners are split up. Instead of like picking Lancers, or instead of picking Casters, or any of that, it's picked based off of what year they were released in. So there's a bunch of different banners, one for each year. So there's 5 banners, one for each year, and every servant that was released in that year you can get in the GSSR. Like, what? Like, it's just stupid. Like, I looked at all of them, and I'm like, literally none of these have good odds of me. Every single one of them is packed with servants I don't want, and like maybe one servant that I kind of want. So I figure whatever, if I do roll, cause I think I don't think I have to spend any money, because I think I already have like enough paid SQ in my account. So I'll just probably do that. I'll have to check, I'm not 100% sure. Hey Mercury, thank you for this resub for 13 months. Over a year. I appreciate it. Hi Rex. Rex will use your Artoria in a minute. I want to see her triple buster animation. Anyway. Oh god, the fact I just said that is interesting. So yeah. Next problem. So this just killed me, man. So I'm already so pissed. No story replay, no boss rush mode, nothing. You know, just no core gameplay stuff. So then they're talking about the summer event, right? And you know, I don't generally like summer events a lot, but I've always been like, you know, maybe we'll finally get Hawaiian shirt coup. It's one of the most requested things. They even said in that interview the other day, it's one of the most requested things they get is people wanting Hawaiian shirt coup. So I'm like, surely they're gonna do it then. I mean, it's nuts that they haven't done it for 5 fucking years, right? And so they start announcing the male costumes like we always get, right? And Imia's getting one. I'm like, ah, yes, because you know he was the Fates the Night servant that already had a costume, you know, already designed from back in, you know, the day that everyone wants. And I'm like, but yeah, fuck it, right? And then it's Landling, and I don't even remember who the other one was. I forgot. It shows how much I care. Not Coup, basically. So I'm like, well, fuck. And then they go like, oh, but wait. Oh yeah, Zigger, that's the one. That was actually kind of cool. The Zigger costume's nice. It'd be better if he had a fucking buff. Although maybe they'll buff him. I think they seriously, I think they're gonna buff Ziggurat in the summer event. Like, surely they know. Anyway, so I'm like, well, fuck, no Hawaiian shirt coup. But they're like, oh wait, there's more. And these start like speed showing. They're like adding like all these costumes, right? And like first it's Izo, and then there's like there was another low star, Paul, you know, Arjuna, Nero. So I'm like, oh god, I'm like they can't, they have to do it now. They have to do Hawaiian shirt coup. No, out of all these new costumes, none of them are Hawaiian shirt coup. I'm like, oh, fantastic. And then they're like, oh, by the way, to add insult to injury, but we're, guys, don't worry guys. There's no story replay. There's no Hawaiian shirt coup. But we're adding a main interlude for the Paul event. So, you know, you can get Paul again. I'm like, yeah, that's the thing I wanted. Great. Then, you know, they're buffing all the Fates the Night characters for some fucking reason, except not Medea. You know, you can buff, they literally buffed the 4 Fates the Night characters that absolutely do not need a buff. And then they're like, oh, it's a Fates the Night thing, guys. And everyone's like, but Medea, who's Medea? It's like they forgot. Like, how do you do all these insanely unnecessary buffs and you don't buff Medea, right? Like, who's just, there's so much wrong with the way she's designed right now. And I'm like, you literally have no FP summon DPS caster that can really get the job done for killing assassins. You have none. Right? And then you have Coup, who's like the best fucking budget unit for murdering archers ever, and he works super well. And yeah, no, we gotta buff him. That makes sense. Yeah, no curse arm buff either. Oh yeah, but you know, we're getting a bunch of fucking free SQ. What do you fucking do? Because, you know, I literally got nothing to roll on. I haven't, and even if I did, I was talking about it, it's like, if I get a new unit, I want to be able to use them on something. It's, you know, I'm so, it's like, oh wow, guys, I got Canis. Let me go do some dailies. I'm so happy, right? Like, it's just, fuck, man. Let's see, so, oh yeah, so I find this funny. The whole reason everyone thought it was a Fates Stay Night theme was because they had data mined that there was a new invulnerability effect in the game files, right? They hadn't data mined that it was for Artoria. They had just data mined that there was a new type of invincibility effect in the game files. And I and they, you know, assumed, well, if there's a new invincibility effect, it's probably an invincibility that ignore invincibility can't get through. So it's like, you know, this will give you invincibility. And like, well, that's probably Avalon. Like, what else would they do it for? That's probably Avalon. And it was for Artoria. It just wasn't for the Artoria that everybody thought. So when they did the whole Fate Stay Night theme, Artoria didn't get Avalon. So everyone's like, wow, we kind of just lucked out on that whole guessing the Fate Stay Night thing then, because she didn't get Avalon. And also, actually, no one got Avalon, by the way. With the new invincibility effect was for Artoria. It was just a different Artoria, because the Anniversary Servant is Castor Artoria. It's not Proto Merlin, by the way. It's not Proto Merlin. It's just Castor Artoria, because fuck you, that's why. And she doesn't have Avalon either, but she has just... Her NP is like some, like, perception of Avalon bullshit. I don't really get it, but for whatever reason, it gives you invulnerability that can't be pierced by piercing vulnerability. And, so yeah. And yeah, Castor Artoria is really good. Everyone's like, oh my god, she's power creeping Tam. She's absolutely not. There are definitely apples and oranges. I don't know why I have to keep reminding people of this. Tam lowers your cooldowns. Do you have any idea how fucking broken that is? Do you know why when there's one of those stupid ass challenge quests that like 95% of the player base doesn't want to figure out how to beat? You know why they pretty much always do like Waver Merlin Tam or stupid shit like that? It's because when you have Tam constantly lowering your cooldowns, you basically can't die, right? There's really no power creeping that. And you can use Castor Artoria with Tam, right? I don't know why no one has thought of this. It's like they work together. And now Tam is lowering the cooldowns of Castor Artoria, which is a little bit good. So yeah, anyway, this anniversary has pretty much been my least favorite thing of all time, which really sucks because I always look forward to the anniversary more than anything else, and they just completely dropped the ball in my opinion. No quality of life updates worth the fuck, no new game modes, no story replay. Buffs were just so unnecessary. And then, again, I truly, I don't mind you buffing. Ku's my favorite character, right? I don't mind Ku getting buffed, and I've said many times, you probably could buff Ku's gut skill in a way that would not make Ku broken. And same for like you know, Emmy and stuff. You can buff these characters. It's not so much that they buff them, it's that they buff them before they buffed all these other characters that are awful. Right, that's the problem. Seriously, I'm not gonna bitch if you buff Ku. I don't think it's that unreasonable, but I think it's really unreasonable to buff Ku a second time when he's already the best 3-star or 1 to 3-star even Lancer, and you have Deermid over there just going like, help, right? You know, it's just crazy. You have all these units that are in just such bad shape, and you buff. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, it does not make sense to me. And it's the same thing with Hercules. I actually think you can buff, although I think Hercules' buff is absolutely nuts, and his probably is the biggest buff out of all of them. But you could have buffed Hercules in a way that was ridiculous. Yeah, I haven't looked at Castor Artoria's 3rd stage, so I don't even know. I've only seen her 2nd stage actually. Which I assume it's her 2nd stage, so it's just the one that I saw. Yeah, I need to check out Hercules, but he works, from what I think, I have not, all I've done is I woke up, I got Ku's buff, I recorded the video, it took me forever to render that video because it kept crashing, and then I went back, I tried to go back to sleep a second ago, but that didn't work out. So I've barely done anything, but I think how Herc's buff works is, I know for a fact it does this, it's like Angra's Guts, where he can apply it even if there's another Guts active. So you could have Necromancy on, and you could use Herc's Guts. So it's just like Angra's. But then I think the other thing is not just that Guts, but any Guts that goes off while he's got that skill active will activate a Buster Up for him. I think that's how it works. So basically, you can use your skill Guts while you have the Bond CE, and those Guts will activate your Buster Up. And I'm assuming, I don't know this, but I would hope that the game prioritizes his skill Guts first. So you'd use your Guts immediately. You'd use your Gut skill immediately. Or actually, you might still use your Evade first. But after that, then you'd use your Gut skill. And then I'm assuming it takes the Gut skill before it starts eating into your Bond CE. And so then by the time it gets through your Bond CE, and then your Mystic Code and all that, your Guts is back and your Evade is back, and you know, you just so basically Hercules can live at least one turn longer, maybe 2 turns longer, depending. But he can at least live 1 turn longer, and Hercules can already live for a lot of turns, so getting 1 extra turn, that helps. But then what he's doing per turn is much stronger now because he's got all these Buster Ups. So basically, he gets more done with the turns that he has, and he has 1 more turn. That is fucking nuts, right? Like, that's fucking nuts. So yeah, normally the game will prioritize something that's limited over something that's unlimited. It generally works that way. That's why I haven't used it. That's why I assumed it worked that way, because I know that's kind of how it works with like similar things. So while I'm sitting here blabbing, I should do Imia's upgrade quest, because I haven't done that yet. Also, you know, more SQ. Why not? These stages are so easy. There's no point in like doing anything too fancy with them. Beastly, do you have your Imia slotted on anybody? Because I kind of want to mess around with his buff and see it firsthand, and I want to see some... I guess I need to buff mine, because I want to see if he can do the quick thing. I don't know if he can... I don't know if he's just Buster and Art, but I want to see if he's allowed to get quick. And if he is, I want to see what happens with Scatty, because I have a feeling it's stupid. I have it slotted on my main. Alright, let's see if I can get you. No quick, so it's just Art or Buster. That's sad, but... that's still nonsense. Well, I guess there's not much point. There's not much I can do then. I guess 2 arrows now by his 3rd skill. Because yeah, I don't have Tam or anything. So I can't really show off anything too juicy there. Although I guess we'll just use him and just solo, and we'll just show him off that way. But yeah, I don't really have units to work with him. Look at that. You got white, yellow, orange now. We're escalating. What happens if you buff it again? Does it turn red? Did they buff his numbers any? Did they make like the art up or the Buster up and all that stuff bigger? Because I could see them doing that. Let's find out. Oh god. Yeah, that CE is good on a team, but yeah, it's not so great in a solo. But I don't think this stage will be hard enough for it to matter. Oh, I was so pissed last night, man. Like, I just... God. The only thing that came out of that whip that I was happy about is the respec for command codes. And I'm kind of happy about all the free SQ, but, like, not really, because I already had so much SQ saved up. And, you know, it's like, what's the point of having all this SQ if I don't have any game modes to use them in? Dude, there was all these random people coming into my stream that, like, don't normally watch my stream that were just, like... You know, they were like unironically like making fun of me and like other people in chat that were mad that they didn't add in like core gameplay stuff. Like, I'm like, good job. Like, imagine wanting to play the game. Imagine wanting to get a new servant and wanting to go like do a fun boss battle with them. And not wanting to go 3-turn dailies that we've been able to 3-turn for like 5 years, right? It's like, yeah, imagine that. Like, what a concept. Yeah, there was a good bit of people like, and the thing is, there's nothing wrong. There's literally nothing wrong if you're the kind of person that like doesn't. We were saying this, but you don't really like the gameplay and you just like playing progression for the sake of progression, and you just want to like do dailies and events to just unlock things. That like if you know if you're in that mindset, you do you, right? I'm not gonna tell you not to play that way. If that's the way you want to play the game, that's the way you want to play the game, right? That fucking sucks to me. I'd rather have fun things to do and like actually good gameplay. Like I like how every other fucking mobile game is starting to add, you know, actual game modes and real content and shit. And FGO over here, the boomer that it is, just can't figure it out. Like I really feel like the devs that make these kind of decisions literally don't even know what to do. They literally don't even know how they could make FGO better, because the quote-unquote quality of life updates they do are like things that it's like they don't know what else to do. They're like grasping for straws. Like, look at the stupid, like, dude, the daily update. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it's so random and pointless. Like, who gives a shit, right? It's like they're sitting there trying to justify their job title. It's like they're sitting there like, we we're out of quality of life updates we can do. Anything else we would do would be like, you know, we can't give them too much free SQ, right? We can't be, you know, we don't want to hurt the Gasha, right? So they're like just trying to come up with like tell the executives we're still doing something, guys. Like that's what it looks like. It's like it's an excuse to keep, which is stupid. It's not like they shouldn't be out of ideas. They completely strike me as though they're completely out of ideas, and I felt this way for years. Literally for like the last 3 years, I felt like they're out of ideas. But I'm like, you haven't done anything. Like you haven't added a challenge tower, you haven't added boss rush, you haven't done, you know, story replay, let alone like something like New Game Plus, you know, a training room, right? Like there's just a million and one things that you could do, and they're not doing anything. It's like they're in a box. They can't think of, they just can't think of, it's like all they can have is these generic dailies they've had for 4 years, right? That's all we can have. And like the random events they add every few months. It's like they can't think, oh, what else can we do? What do you mean add new dailies? Right? Like they can't grasp the concept because like they just keep reiterating on this trash. Like I could not believe they're sitting here talking about like how they're like making the dailies quote unquote better by just adding fucking mana prisms to them if you do them 3 times. I'm like, what is wrong? Like what? Like why would you even think of that? Like the dailies don't even drop mats that matter anymore. The dailies are so fucking old. They drop a bunch of mats no one cares about. Like we have all these new materials that get added to the game and none of them drop in dailies. I'm like, and you have doors with 20k health. You have doors with 20k health. Who the fuck wants to do that? Like, everything is so out of date in this game. It's nuts. Okay, yeah, they drop dust, but if you want dust, you still farm, you know, there's different stages you farm for that. Like, yeah, everyone needs gyms, I agree. Everybody needs gyms, that's the problem. Have you looked at the gym drop rate? You literally can spend like 300 AP and easily get 0 gold gyms, right? That's like all the AP you're gonna have in a day. You can literally use every bit of your AP throughout the day and never whiff any of your AP and never get a gold gem drop. Like, it's like, the fuck is that? Like, yeah, let me just spend 30 apples to get 3 gold gems. This is a great ratio. So fun, right? And then again, the content is so out of date and old and boring. It's fucking stupid. And it's not like that. Whoever the fuck is in charge of like actually designing bosses, I can't give them enough applause. They do a fantastic job, right? And that's what makes it so frustrating. Is like they know how to design good stages. They've designed like Zeus. It's a fucking amazing stage. You know, all the challenge quests they make are fucking amazing. It's like they know how to make good content, but none of it's replayable. All the content that's worth a fuck is like, wow, this is really interesting. Like if you get a new unit, because a lot of units they add are aimed at farming, and a lot of units they add aren't. A lot of units they add are not aimed at farming. Ricky Boy is not aimed at farming. If anyone thinks he is, go fuck yourself. All these people are like, oh, the game is just about farming. Meanwhile, you have all these people that really like Ricky Boy. That is, he literally has no use in farming, right? Like, well, I guess killing himself could be used for farming sometimes, but generally you don't need single target for farming, let alone where you can't kill himself unless he's already low on health. You know, you need turns to go by for that to happen. It just doesn't work that way. He's for challenge quests, right? Very much so. And there's plenty of other units, yeah, like Super Orion, blatantly aimed at challenge quests. So there's, they make, I'd say half the units in the game are aimed at challenge quests and about a half are aimed at farming. And so by all means have both. By all means have both, though we don't have both. I don't know why, but we just can't have repeatable content for some fucking reason. Oh my god, people having fun! Someone call the police! Let me, this isn't necessarily the best time to do this, but I want to see like what kind of refund he gets off of just, straight doing his NP. Because, you normally run buffs, maybe an art up, from Tam or something, but, we'll see how he does the old-fashioned way here. How about that Nero getting a costume, though? Guys, there's so many things to talk about. I just don't even know, like, where to start. Oh, yeah! Oh, God. So, I'm not kidding. I'm not exaggerating. I am not exaggerating. They could not have dropped the ball any harder on the memorial stages. We were memeing We were joking, and they made it worse than our jokes, right? Like the final Fuyuki quest, everyone's like, oh, it's gonna be Artoria again. It's gonna be Saber Alter again. It is so much worse than that. It's a level 15 stage. We don't get a finale challenge quest. We don't get that. You get to fight Nero with 2,000 health, and then like Artoria with 15,000 health. That's the final stage. I don't understand. Can someone explain this to me? Remember when the first set of Memorial stages, right? They were like, we're gonna let you fight Gwaine again, and he's got his Camelot buff, so he takes massively less damage, right? You know, huge reduction to damage, say. And then we're gonna give him more health than he even had in Camelot. So it's actually quite a bit harder than Camelot, right? Like, remember that? And now they're like, Camelot, trash mobs. Do you want to fight trash mobs? Like, the Memorial stage for Camelot is trash mobs. Like, what? And then the finale, and I've always said the Saber Alter Challenge quest is not very good because it's like, it's either impossible to do with a budget team, or you have to bring a budget team that has to stall, and then it's really slow. So it's like you have to pick between like not doing it or doing it very slowly with like Double David or something, right? And that sucks, right? So you either cheese it with like really rare stuff to beat it quickly, or you use budget stuff and you do it very slowly, right? But so I've always, that's not a great challenge quest, but you know, at least it was a challenge quest. Now it's fucking Nero with 2,000 health. Like, how is that the final Memorial stage? I don't understand. Like, what is going on? Like, this anniversary feels like an April Fool's joke. At first, I felt like an exaggeration to say. Like, it really did feel like an exaggeration to say at first. But then, like, literally everything that they did was troll. It's like if when Beastly's got his troll face on, you know, in chat, you know, Beastly's always saying these insanely troll things that are like, you know, kind of an exaggerated take on how DW acts, right? He basically takes DW logic and exaggerates it, and he's like saying very silly things, right? This anniversary felt like Beastly was in charge, right? That's what it felt like. You know, we have fucking Camelot Memorial stage is a trash stage. The final stage is just like literally 5,000 health on the enemies. You know, they didn't pick anything from Lost Belt 5-2. They did 5-1. Everyone likes 5-2 bosses more than 5-1. And then out of 5-1, the joke was, I make this joke. I was joking when I said they'd bring back Cerberus, right? Because that was like the joke, because in Lost Belt 5-1, they just kept having to fight Cerberus over and over again because they didn't have any real bosses, right? And they brought back Cerberus. I'm like, what? Like, and like every fucking stage they picked was a joke. Like they picked they've never brought back Solomon, the Solomon Singularity. They've never brought that back in an anniversary before. They always do Babylonia instead. They finally bring it back. Oh, and it's like, oh guys, finally. It's the 5th year anniversary. It's a big landmark. We're gonna get to fight Gwady again. No, just kidding. You fight Corpse Solomon again. It's like, okay. Like, it's just every fucking Memorial stage was like that. Like, we fight Baldy. We fight Baldy from Shimosa. All the hard bosses in Shimosa. And you have us fight Baldy. Like, that was the easiest fucking boss there. No one was like, oh yeah, I wanted to fight that Baldy fight again because, you know, that was a fun one. Like, what? I'm so, and I said this. Remember, chat? I was like, you know, at this point, I feel like the anniversary stream is going to be nothing but like, oh, look at all this free SQ we're giving you, instead of actually doing anything that makes the game better. And that's kind of what it was. Like, yeah, they gave out a lot of free SQ, and that's nice. But they're like, look at some of the anniversaries in the past, right? They've all been a little disappointing to me because none of them added story replay or a boss rush mode or anything like that. But like, you know, they added all those new bronze servants. That was awesome. That's the whole player base gets that. That's a bunch of new servants for the whole player base all at once. It's not like, hey guys, we added one new servant. They're like, boom, we added all these new servants, and you all get them. Now your FP's worth something again. Go, and everyone starts running off, tripping all over themselves to go roll on FP. I did that. It was awesome. You know, and you get all these new fucking bronzes, which to this day are awesome. That's one of my favorite things we've ever done for this game was adding all those new bronze servants because it did so much for the game at once. Right? It's like new toys for everyone. It gave budget teams new options. It gives, you know, free-to-play people a lot of new, not only new fun things to play with, but like helpful things. You know, Chen Gong is very helpful, right? Like they added a lot of stuff, and like so is Gareth. Not as helpful as Chen Gong, but she's still, you know, all the bronzes gave you new options and and new niches and stuff to work with, and then everybody got them and made your FP way better, and we got the 4 and 5 star Embers in FP. It's like, you know, that was an awesome change. It's like, yeah, it was kind of like getting you more new toys and no sandbox to play with the toys in, but that's always the problem, which is, you know, why I want story replay and stuff. But anyway, it was still really nice. And then the 3rd year anniversary, they added command codes. It really, like, that was I love command codes. It's one of the best things they've done for this game. It was a real fundamental change to the game that gave you a lot more customization over your favorite units, and it rewarded planning. And as they add more command codes, because the early command codes are kind of shite, let's be real, but like as they've added, you know, better command codes, it gives you a lot of like options and different ways to set up units and lots of things to experiment with. By the way, you can't blame the pandemic. Like, there's so many reasons why you can't, because it's not about the amount of stuff that they did, it's about what they did. So first off, the first thing I want to talk about with the pandemic, I understand if that slows development down. No one's going to complain about that. Literally no one. If DW comes out and is like, guys, we're actually planning on adding story replay mode, but because of the pandemic, the development it's been slowed and we can't add it right now. You know what? Fair enough. Fair enough. I'd be like, no problem. I'd be like, no problem. I can wait. But you know, as long as we know you're wanting to add it, I'll wait a year, like whatever, right? But no, they don't. We don't even get that. So first off, Nasu's already said the pandemic obviously messed them up at first. They weren't really ready to work it from home and everything, so it slowed them down at first. And we saw that right as the pandemic happened. The next few months for FGO, they added nothing. You know, it was a bunch of fucking reruns and stuff. But he said that they're fine now. It has basically not affected the workflow at all. They're totally back to normal. That's not the issue. And it's, again, if the problem was the pandemic, we wouldn't have gotten all these things that we got. Look at all the art they just added. They added so much art. You have to hire the artists and, you know, do the back and forth and everything. They had all these new costumes, and that's the equivalent. That's like the in-game people that normally do sprite work, like animation updates and new characters. So it's not like they're not doing work. They're doing plenty of work. You got, you know, Castor, Artoria, you know, so they've done, and the coding people adding all these new buffs and stuff. It's not a matter of them not, you know, like having the time and stuff. And look, they did a lot of stupid shit. Like, it sucks, but they did it. You know, they do this dumb daily update, which by the way doesn't work, but I think it's bugged right now. But you know, if you do it daily 3 times, you get more mana prisms and stuff. You know, that's the work to do that is not really different than the work to give someone access to a stage they already beat. Like, oh hey, I can do the Zeet stage again, right? It's not that different from a coding perspective. There's some differences obviously, but like, it's not the pandemic. It's not that, right? Like that, you cannot blame that, because they announced all these random ass things like the speed mode and all. It's a matter of priorities. You know, they're focusing on these weird, stupid things that no one cares about, like the daily. Instead of like, hey. Because people care about dailies. People do care about dailies, but they want them to be better. They want better drops. They want the gold gems to actually drop, for fuck's sakes, right? So they want new and better dailies, not, hey, let's do some stupid shit with the old dailies everyone hates, right? And they do the speed mode thing, which I get it. For farming, the speed mode thing is nice. I get that. But it's not optional. Like, if they made it optional, no problem. Literally no one would complain about it. The reason people complain about it is because it's not optional and it's janky as fuck. Like, so why are we getting this janky crap instead of like adding things that make sense? And again, look at the buffs. It's not like we got a lot of buffs. The problem is the targets. Now, I will say, at least they buffed Phantom and you, and you know, some of the buffs were well deserved, obviously. But you fucking buff Musashi and not Ziggurat. It's just like, what? You buff Ku when Deermud is just like. Deermid's been so pointless for so long, and you buffed Ku twice before. It's like, that doesn't make any sense. I spent 19 golden apples to get 5 gold drop gems, and they're half AP cost today. Yeah, I know. I believe you. I've been in the same boat. It's the only caster gems. The only gold gems that have a good drop rate are the caster gems. That's the only one. All the other ones are terrible, and even those aren't great. They're just bearable. I don't know why you think Tam is dead. Like, her cooperative work with Castor or Tori is ridiculous, and she still has such a niche with looping, with just how much NP gain she gives you, and then with the cooldown reduction for really hard stuff. I mean, Tam is fine. I don't think Tam has as much general use as Castor or Toria. Like, Castor or Toria definitely has more general use, and even like, very much in farming, like that kind of thing. Castor or Toria is going to be way more simple, because honestly, Tam can result in some pretty nice 3-turn clears for farming. because you do the whole NP refund thing. She's been doing the scatty thing since forever, right? Like, it's just most people don't realize how to do it. I don't know why, but and sometimes it doesn't work, and sometimes it does. It just depends. Anyway, I mean, Tam is fine. I do think Caster Artorial will definitely see more use for general gameplay though, but that doesn't mean Tam is dead. That's stupid. Now, if you want to talk about dead, Zigguard is dead. I can't think of a single reason to ever use Zigguard anymore outside of just liking him, which is a great reason to use him, by the way. But I'm just saying, from a practicality standpoint, he's inferior to Musashi at pretty much everything, because even if he's fighting a dragon, he does less damage than her. So, awesome. And he has much weaker NP gain, less normal card damage, although he does have the crit thing, which is nice. She has debuff clear. He has debuff immunity, that's similar, but they are kind of apples and oranges. But like overall, he is so inferior to her. Yeah, it's not Proto Merlin. Like, yeah, no, the whole George thing is... I've always said, though, the whole George thing was really only worth it with Siegfried, not Zigguard. And now, like, here's such a good example. If you bothered... Now, sometimes you're going to want to bring St. George anyway. Like, you know, fair enough. Sometimes you're just going to want to use St. George for the tanking. And if you happen to turn into a dragon, great. But Zigguard gets less damage than Musashi, even if you do turn them into a dragon. So it's, unless you need St. George specifically for tanking. I'm so tired, by the way. I keep like saying the wrong things, like name-wise and stuff, so that's great. Let's check out Artoria's new animations. I haven't seen those yet. Rex, are you around? You've got the better Artoria than this scuffed piece of shit. And you know, my scuffed piece of shit Artoria. I mean, is she slotted? Because if she's slotted, I can just refresh until I get you. Yeah. Regular Artoria. We can show off Caster Artoria in a minute. So yeah, the only real positive thing I can say is just the fact that they added the better respec system for command codes. Like, that's really all I got. Yeah, that sucks, Arjuna. That's their typical not putting enough effort into costumes because they can't monetize them nonsense. So they couldn't do in-between frames with the monkey. Why is the only... There we go. Okay, K-Scope fucking sucks balls for soloing, but we'll make it work. This should be a pretty easy stage anyway. I'll do the GSSR in a second. I honestly don't think I would do it if I had to spend money, but I'm pretty sure I already have some degree of, I don't know, I might be like too short or some crap. But whenever I last did the GSSR and the time before that or whatever, I've got some leftover ones, so I think I have enough to just do it. I'll check though. I don't know what to roll on though, because I'm not exaggerating. If I was not a streamer, I would not do this GSSR. I would skip it in a heartbeat. Like, it's just not, it's not a very good GSSR. Now, if I was maybe newer to the game, then I might do it, but each one of them only has like one thing in it that I care about, if that. So the odds of me getting anything out, like no matter what I do, I'm gonna have to roll on something where there's a very high chance I'm gonna get a bunch of stupid shit I don't want. I'm gonna probably make my criteria something very dumb. Also, I'm super pissed because I can't get Tesla. I like how for the free 5-star, Tesla wasn't there. You weren't allowed to pick Tesla, even though he's not limited, but he's story locked. You weren't allowed to pick Tesla for your free 5-star when you had the 5-star ticket. And then now that we have the GSSR and we do have limiteds, he's not in there either because he's not limited. So there's just no Tesla. Yeah, I kind of figured that was going to happen. Yeah, it's kind of funny Castoria needs eggs. It's not a problem for me. I mean, I don't even have her, but eggs have never been an issue for me, so... Let me look up. I need to look at the GSSR. I looked at it earlier. Oh yeah, check this out. Look at Artoria. Watch Artoria's animations. Look at this. It's just... What the fuck? It looks so bad. What are in between frames, by the way? It's really great when you have Artoria fighting Artoria, because, like in the daily, because then, they're both doing it. FGO just feels awful to me right now. It's like the new janky-ass speed mode. It feels unprofessional. I think that's a really good way to describe the new speed mode. It just feels very unprofessional and sloppy. Like they just slapped, you know, like the fast forward button on something, right? It does not look right. And just like this does not look right. You know, and for the 5th year anniversary, all this like slop and stuff, it sucks, man. Like, and again, if the virus is actually a problem, which from what I understand, it's not for them. That's literally what Nasu said, is like they're, you know, totally fine now. But if that's the problem and they just add less, that's fine. Add less things, but of higher quality. I would much rather them add one thing that's done really well and is what the game needs, versus adding a bunch of sloppy horse shit that sucks, which is what we got. Like, they just added all this sloppy bullshit. But I can't find the GSSR pool here. You want to link it to me? I don't know if I'm just looking at the wrong thing, but I can't find it. Maybe it's not on the wiki right now. I thought it was on the wiki, though. Anyway, oh, thanks, Beastling. That's weird. It says page not found now. Did they delete it? Because I swear it was there earlier. There we go. Okay, we got it. Like, honestly, none of these things have, like, any one thing in it that I'm like, oh my god, I really need that. Because I already have most of the stuff that I would really want. So I think I might do something stupid, like trying to get Hercules as the, like, from the 4-star, or go for Moriarty. There's just, god, I don't like any of these banners. Like, they're overwhelming majority of the thing, and every single one of these banners I do not like. And that's because the few things that I like that would put it in my favor, I already have, right? Because there's only a few 5-stars I super care about, and I just saved up for those things, and I have them. So it's like, the odds are so bad. Yeah, the 4-stars are also divided. So I might pick one that just doesn't have that many 4-stars in it, and just get like just a shot at like a 4-star. Like, oh, it'd be cool if I got them at a higher NP rank or something. Because I'm not gonna be no matter what I pick, it's not gonna end well. So this is a really stupid turn to do my skill, but I want to see the Buster animation, so I'm going to do it now, even though now is a very dumb time to do it. Let's see that damage, boys. This is so dumb. Like, this is so dumb. Also, I want to point out how pointless that is in a solo, because you have access to your whole deck anyway. I don't know, maybe you want to do a triple Buster chain without the NP. What really sucks is, what do you do? I said this on Discord earlier. What do you do? This happens with Artoria and Mordred sometimes. Like, it's not the most common thing that you do, but this is something you want to do decently often, especially when soloing, is you want to do NP art. Because then you get the art cards for the NP regain, you get your overcharge for the NP gain, then you use their battery skill, right? But you can't do that anymore, and you have to pick between having the bigger NP damage from the skill versus having the better refund. You can't have both. That's actually annoying that you cannot have that option anymore. Like, it's just gone. So that kind of sucks. All right, let's see what we do. I mean, it's cool that they added, you know, a new extra attack and stuff, so that's nice. But, I don't know, that extra attack seemed kind of rushed to me. I was kind of hoping it would look more like when she shot Hercules. As bullshit as that scene was, that would have looked cool. I think that's what they based it on, they just didn't, really flush that out too much. It was okay, though. I don't think it was bad. I think it was good. It was just... I think it could be better. Like, her other animations are so good that, eh. So, how about you, Chad? How did y'all feel about the anniversary? Aside from all the free, you know, SQ. I think everybody's happy about a bunch of free SQ. I don't think anyone's gonna complain about that. Yeah, the overwhelming majority of what I see, at least from my community, is definitely meh. Now, oh, I will say, I forgot to talk about this. I will say, like, they did like this thing pretty early on where they had a lot of, they did like a lot of instrumental like kind of covers of a lot of the in-game battle music and stuff. That was awesome. That I enjoyed that a lot. That was probably my favorite part of the stream, actually. That was really good. Yeah, they combined a lot of like classical instruments with like electric guitar and stuff, and it was good. Like that was good. That was very good. That obviously doesn't make the gameplay enough go. You know, that doesn't add story replay to the game or anything like that, right? But that was still really nice. I felt bad because when they finished, there was no one there to clap, right? Like, and I was like, that kind of sucks. It's like, that was really good, right? And they have no audience, so that was kind of lame. But yeah, no hate for that. Yeah, it was the main issue was they just, you know, no core gameplay improvements, you know, no new game mode, not that just that really sucked. We're about to blast a bitch. You know what? Let's just wait a turn. Let's maximize. We'll wait a turn, get all our skills back, and go boom. We'll make stars just cause. Yeah, Dino Mom's about to have a bad day. Did she get the giant trait, by the way, for David? I'm assuming no. By the logic that they've shown, I would say no. There is some slight inconsistency though with like the logic they've shown with the David anti-trait thing. It's also I've often said, you know, I don't really like Artoria's character too much, and it's not that she's written poorly. She's written just fine. It's just that, you know, she's not my kind of character, and like mainly because of the bad parenting thing. That's a really big turnoff for me. Anyway, but in terms of like aesthetics and voice acting and stuff, I have no problem with Artoria, and like her animations in FGO specifically are actually, I think, really good now. Yeah, I've never had like a problem with like what she looks like and like what she sounds like and any of that. Like that's never been a problem. But yeah, it's just bad dad. But this is a nice MP animation. She's a true gorilla now. I cannot believe Proto-Q has not gotten a buffed NP yet. I mean, they know. I just think they're gonna wait until it's a thematic time, and that's something I just disagree with that. They handle buffs that way a lot, where they don't buff things based on what really needs it or what's, you know, obviously got a problem. They buff things based on what's like thematic at the time. The only time they really buff things based on what needs it is on like the anniversary and stuff, and they only buff a few servants that way, like Phantom, obviously. Phantom was like the worst unit in the game. Took them 5 years to buff them, but you know. I like how I have over 1,000 Saint Quartz fragments because of the change to story mode, how you get fragments from, and they retroactively gave you the stuff, so. I'll use Q real quick just to show him all. I'd actually have to use Hercules. We'll get plenty of Q out of me in the long run, so we'll try to show off some Hercules here. And I'm actually legitimately curious how some of this works. I haven't used him yet. We might need Beastly to hook us up, because Kai hasn't done the upgrade quest yet. Feels bad, man. Guys, see, the Herc is just Warp Spasm Q now, right? Like, that's what happened. There we go. You know what's funny? I kind of feel like you should use Atlas now. I mean, I don't know. And I think if the fight is really long, you probably use Atlas. If the fight is shorter, though, then you probably still do Anniversary Blonde, because the burst damage, all that buster up now, and you get the crits, like, Jesus. But for, like, if it was a long haul fight, then Atlas I think is better now. And that's good because it gives you the option to remove debuffs, which is nice. But yeah, there's definitely fights where Atlas will still be, I mean, Anniversary Blonde will still be better, just because them crit stars. Unfortunately, I have to wait for my taunts to die. You know, I will say, if they were going to do all this Face the Night stuff, I wish they had just gone more, just focused on that more, instead of all these other things. Right, like all the costumes and blah, 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 blah. Like, why, just buff literally everyone for Face the Night, because some of them actually need it, like Medea. We have no budget caster that's in the FP summon that's actually good for killing assassins, right? And it needs to be Medea. Right, and you could like give them some animation updates. Some of them don't need it as much, but you could touch them up a bit. You know, and a few of them, like, you know, Emiya could use a big touch up, I would say, and I think Ku could use a touch up as well. Like his sprite work is not the best. It's better, way better than it was, obviously. But like if they were gonna do like some big Fates of Night thing, I wish they'd actually gone full haul on it and, you know, buffed all of the Fates of Night cast and touched up all their animations and stuff. Like if they were gonna do that, then do that. Like I was saying, quality over quantity, and I feel like we got a bunch of quantity with very low quality. That's really what the Anniversary felt like. We'll show off the costumes too. I haven't done those stages and stuff, so we'll start showing off the costumes. They're buffing Gil again. That might happen actually. I can see them doing that eventually. I don't think Koja really needs a higher hit count though, because he's got all the quick up, Stargent up, and then the set Stargent on his NP and his second skill. So like in that department, I think he's fine. I mean, I will say, to really capture how cool a lot of his like attacks are and like the way he fights, he kind of just needs a higher hit count for that, because he's like so swift and like all the multi-strike stuff, and he, you know, they describe him as like a typhoon of steel, right? And you can't really capture that with such a small hit count. I'll show off the new command code thing too, because it's free. I might as well. So I can literally. It is kind of nice though. Anytime I do a solo video or something like that, I'll be able to tailor my command codes to that unit every time. So that's kind of cool. The command code thing is like the one thing. Oh yeah, they added a 5%. They added a 5% NP gain. I'm really scared about that. A 5% NP gain is not too strong. On some units though, that'll add up. But I'm worried because it's just a 3-star, and so that means they could add a 4 or a 5-star equivalent of it, and so you might get like a 15% NP gain on a command code. That's really scary. I'm kind of worried about that because I think it's obvious that they've been dodging that command code for a long time. Because from day one, they had like all the basic stuff in pretty quick, like NP gain up, star absorb up, crit up, you know, all that stuff is in like immediately. The one thing they avoided was NP gain. And then look, the first command code they added was the Merlin one, which has a cooldown on it. So they've been scared, and I don't blame them. They should be wary of adding NP gain stuff, because loops are already a thing in this game, and now if you start letting everyone loop, or loop even easier, there's all kinds of problems there. And that's why I think they put a cooldown on the one. So just adding flat NP gain on a card is very scary. But it's a very low percentage, it's only 5%. But yeah, I don't know, I'm kind of worried. Yeah, we just did that, Alex. Like, we just did that a second ago. Like, for a lot of units, I think depending on what you're doing, it would be better to put a Star Absorb command code on an art card, because critting more often is better than 5% NP gain. But some units can get their crits anyway, and then now you're critting and getting the higher... oh, why did you not get buffed, Moriarty? Anyway, then you're getting the higher... You know what, fuck the evade. In a longer fight, you would do the evade first. That's like the meta thing to do. But I think we want to just get guts rolling. So we'll just do that. It really does make sense though to use evade immediately, and then use Atlas on it, right, all that stuff. But hopefully this stage isn't actually hard enough to matter, so we can just start spamming guts. It depends on the unit. Some units have a very high hit count, so NP gain is really good. Or reverse is like a set amount. So you get, how long does this last? 5 turns. That is insane. Because you're... Oh my god. Because... Jesus Christ. That is so insane because we're gonna be popping guts every turn, and then you could bring, if you wanted to, you know, Atlas or something, and then get that third skill again. Like, that's so much Buster up. I don't even need to NP. I'm not gonna NP because I don't want the fight to end too fast. I want to show off what this can do now. We need a harder stage than this. Please, Moriarty, you're too weak. You need to be buffed. There it is. There it is. You get another, and that one's 5 turns too. And see, look, you can do Atlas, and now your guts will come back, like, before it's gone, right? Like, it's crazy. Let's see how much the MP hits for now that we've demonstrated that it stacks. So, the Coup buff, and I know this because if there's one thing I know in this game, it's Coup, right? The Coup buff is not nearly as good as you might think. It's actually not that good at all. It's not bad. It certainly makes Coup better, but the Coup buff is actually pretty insignificant, and in a lot of stages it makes literally no difference. So, for example, that Coup versus Coup solo that I did, it basically didn't help there at all. Because I did that stage beforehand, right? I've done it several times beforehand. That's actually a hard stage to solo with Coup because the way the enemy Coup casts protection for arrows, he does it at times that you can't really use your sure hit from your NP on it. Like, you'll NP, then he'll do his evade. So it doesn't really work out very well. And you're at neutral and stuff, so the enemy Coup hits really hard. The attack up, it helps, but barely any. It actually does not help at all. It just lowers the RNG required, right? Like, you're less reliant on needing like a good crit or something because you just have more attack up. But you actually break the health bars at the same time, so you just get more overkill. Like, it doesn't actually really do anything. You're just less reliant on crits. And so the first reason why it's not so good is the cooldown reduction basically just makes up for you misplaying. It doesn't actually give you any new opportunities. Because the way you play Coup proper is you cast his guts so it procs on its final turn. So you have the maximum cooldown reduction on it. The thing is, you don't need more cooldown reduction on it. If you play properly, it'll always be back when you need it because your evade has come back and you've got your Mystic Code and everything. So it coming back 1 turn sooner doesn't do anything. It just means you have room to fuck up by 1 turn. Which is good. It's nice to have room to fuck up, because sometimes it's hard to predict what the correct turn to cast it on is. It's a trial and error thing. A lot of times to truly min-max Coup, you need to do the boss a few times to figure out, okay, my guts is probably going to proc on this turn, so that means I need to cast it on that turn. Now, I played Coup so much that generally I'm pretty good at guessing and getting it right. But, so having that extra wiggle room is nice. It's like, okay, I can mess up by 1 turn and have some wiggle room. That's good, but it doesn't make Coup's cap any higher. Right? It basically means that the floor is higher, the ceiling is not, if that makes any sense. Now, the attack buff side of it, that can help you. It just depends. It depends on the health bars. Like, just some boss fights, the way the health bar ratios are going to work out, and like when you NP and when you break the first health bar and all that kind of stuff, sometimes it's going to work out where the attack buff is irrelevant. Like, it's just literally irrelevant. Now, sometimes that won't happen, and sometimes you'll have larger health bars that you're dealing with. Like, here's an example. That battle in Lost Belt 4, that Coup solo against the Lost Belt 4 tree, the Lost Belt 4 tree in Hot Wheels, the attack buff wouldn't matter there. It just wouldn't matter there. Like, the way the health bar ratios are working out there, there's never going to be a turn where you'll break where you wouldn't have broken before. You're just going to overkill by a lot more. Like, so it's not very useful. Now, there are times it is useful. There absolutely are times that it will be useful. And so how Coup's buff works is when he casts Guts, he gives himself an attack buff for 3 turns. And by default, it's 20%, as far as I'm aware. So, like, he'll always give himself a 20% attack buff for 3 turns. And then if your health is lower, it'll be higher. And up to 50% if your health is, like, super, super low. But the first time you cast Guts, you are an idiot if you wait to cast Guts until you're low in health. Coup just doesn't work that way. You need to cast your Guts early, so it gets off cooldown, you cast it again. So the first Guts you're going to cast, you're getting a 20% attack buff for 3 turns. That's all you're getting out of it. Unless you're fighting a boss like God Juna that's like one-shotting you every turn, that's all you're going to get out of it. Now when you recast it, you always get Coup's Guts off a second time unless you make a mistake. When you recast it, you'll get the 40%, 30%, 50%. You'll get something like that out of it. Again, it may not sync up with the health bars in a way that's actually helpful. So Ku's buff is good. It makes him objectively better. It does not hurt him in any way. It makes him less reliant on luck. But his pinnacle ceiling, like if everything works out right for you and stuff like that, it's not really any better. Now the fights where it is better is bosses that have a fuckload of health. Like the Guadia. I've always said, Ku can solo the Demon Guadia fight if Ku's truly maxed out, but you need a lot of good RNG. But now, because Guadia is just one big chunky health bar, and also Guadia takes your health down so fast, it will help in that fight. It'll actually remove, I think, most, if not all, of the RNG in that fight for Ku. The whole reason I've never posted a video of Ku soloing Demon Guadia is because there's just too much RNG in it. I don't like how much RNG is in that fight. And I always said, I'll do it if I can ever find a way to do it with less RNG. I think this new attack buff will remove that RNG, and it'll be fine now. But that's a pretty specific circumstance, because you're NPing every turn, and Guadia hits so hard, and Guadia just has one giant health bar instead of, multi-bars and that kind of thing. Yep, the challenge quests are pitiful. Like, I don't know what they were thinking. Look at this shit. This is the final one. This is the equivalent for this event's, Saber Altar, from the past. It's just a bunch of different bosses, and you might think, oh, it's a multi-boss fight. Those can be good. These all have, 1 to 5,000 health. I think our Tori has 15,000 health, and the other ones have, 2,000 to 5,000. It's just a nothing stage. It's just a complete nothing stage. I don't get why this is the finale. All right, let's. I'll just show off real quick. I'm sure people believe me, but you can respec for free now. I guess. What do I want to? I guess I'm trying to think of someone that really needs command codes that I have. Oh, you know what? We gave him to Lancelot now. I've been wanting to test this forever. The whole reason I've never gotten to do the Lancelot thing is because all the things that he would need to make his solo performance better, because his whole shtick is Star Absorb, and Star Absorb doesn't work when you're soloing because you have every card, right? So every card gets more Star Absorb. That doesn't help. I've always said, though, I think you could help by giving him those Star Gen things and the Star Absorb ones and that kind of thing. But those are normally on my Ku. But now I can just take them off Ku for free and then put them back on Ku. I'm not nerfing my Ku here. I just put them right back, on when I'm done. What do the other buttons even do? So you can still use... So I guess the respec thing just means you get the key back. You'll get the command code and the key back. But why would you do that? I don't get the point of that at all. But yeah, so you can just remove the command code for free, right? You just take it off and you can put it back on. Wait, there's no point in removing that one. Actually, there's no point in removing this one either, because I don't think I'll give that to Lancelot right now. It's totally fine on him, but the ones that I actually need to use are these ones. And then who has my Star Absorb ones? That's the, oh, Billy. There we go. Now, because I've not tested this, I don't actually know quite how I want to go about this. So you could it depends on what cards you're using, right? If you're spamming your art cards all the time, you want that 4-star Gen 1 on an art card. You definitely want 1 Star Absorb on an art card. There's just no question. You are absolutely putting at least 1 Star Absorb on his art card. That's just going to happen. So on your NP turn, you're going to do art. And so on that turn, you'd want the Santa Altar command code on this card, right here. I like how I can literally do this to articulate what I'm saying, but then I can just respec out of it immediately and it does not matter. But if you want to maximize your Star Gen, you'd want to put it on a Buster card. For that turn where you maybe do Buster Quick Art or something like that, and then you go into the crits. I'm gonna go double Star Absorb, I think. And then we'll do the set Star Gen on Buster, and then we'll do Star Rate on Quick. Or maybe we just do another Star Gen on Quick. Just do triple Star Gen. I'm so glad I get to do this, though. I've been wanting to do this with Lancelot for so long. And now that respecking is free, I can actually do it. So that is pretty cool. All right. I'm actually pretty excited because I like Saber Lancelot's gameplay a lot, and I've never gotten to do this, and it's just been something I wanted to do for so long. That's why I haven't upgraded his skills all the way, because it wasn't quite worth it. I wasn't going to do something like this. I don't want to give him 30 Void Dust right now. We'll just leave it like that. We'll see. Alright, let's... Well, these stages are so easy, it won't be a good way of showing him, but we need to get these costumes unlocked and stuff. Are these temporary, by the way, or can you maybe buy these with rare prisms later, like after the fact? Like, I don't know how they're handling these. Like, they're time limited right now. Although, I should do these with the unit so I can show off the costume. Okay, so we'll do these in a second. Because that way we can do the stage with the unit, like, that's unlocking the thing. I'll show off how fucking pathetic this final stage is. Actually, no. Let's do something real. Let's bust out the real... Okay, that's probably too easy. That's probably too hard. But it's a good landmark. I think he'll get destroyed here, because this is hard to solo at neutral anyway, and we have no survivability, so I think we're going to get eaten alive, but we can at least see some value in the damage for the few turns that he is alive. I'm so tired, dude. I really hate that I'm doing this stream, like, when I'm this tired, but it is what it is. We go with this for short-term value. Hey, Lost! Jesus Christ, thank you for the 1,000 bits. Finally get to see this. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. This is unfortunately not the optimal time to test them, because imagine if we had story replay, chat. Imagine if we could do story replay. I could just go through the story and find a boss battle that would be appropriate for this, where it wouldn't be too easy, but not, you know, too hard either, where you find a stage that's like, it's reasonable for a single target saber to solo, where you're not supposed to use a fucking neutral class here. There's nothing they could do that'd make me happier than just adding story replay. The next thing would be add story replay and then a new game plus mode to make it even harder. That would be nice. Lion King would actually... You know what? Wait, you're actually right. Lion King would be a good test, and we actually can do Lion King, because I've got that interlude stage saved, which is Lion King, basically, with the break bars. This might be a little too easy, but it's still a proper time to show them off. Remind me to cancel the app so we don't lose this stage. Be careful, don't lose the stage indeed. Especially when I'm this tired, I could see myself doing something absent-minded like that. Yeah, you can make the memorial stages the super harder version. My Fion is MP5 now? Jesus. Yep, I know. The new fast mode, the ending screen goes by so fast, you have almost no time to cancel the stage. Where before you used to have a long time, so I really dislike that. I should have, I thought that buster card was George. I should have done my buster instead of Sergeant. Let's do... Let's go max Stargin here. There's a chance we'll get a nice crit here, but the main thing is we want to Stargin. Actually, I should have MP'd there. Dude, I can't... Oh my god, I am so tired. My decision making is fucked, dude. Like, it's, like, I'm so unobservant right now. See, this is why I think you might want to put the Star Gen on the art cards. You do a turn like this, and then, like, yeah, you got the Star Absorb, but you don't make any stars here. 1 million HP Dragon, that would be good for testing long-term value. I like how I don't even need my first skill, like, for the charge. Well, that gives us our stars. Alright, I'm ready to cancel. Yeah, there's a pretty good chance we're actually gonna kill her here. I'll put it in slow-mo so we have more time. You can vote extra times with channel points. That's kind of cheating. Cash Toria. Yeah, I'd imagine they're gonna make a lot of money off that. She barely lived. Oh god, she's gonna quick charge. Oh my god. We might be dead. This is what happens when you have, you should bring Anniversary Blonde here, by the way. Like, even though he's art, you should bring Anniversary Blonde, just to have guts. And then you get stars, too, so... Her damage is quite low, and it's AoE, and we're counterclassing, so we might live. The thing is, I think she'll attack after. She only has one action left, because she used one action on quick charge. So if she does, like, Buster, we might be dead here. Yep, we're dead. And that was Buster. Thanks, game. That was not a very good test, but I think we'll have to do that when I can actually concentrate. I guess we'll show off the costumes. I want to get some stuff done. Dude, I just cannot articulate how pissed off I am that, like, I stayed up for that stream and then I slept really bad and now I'm super tired because I need to do so much. Like, I got to catch up on an A because I got to do the fucking raids and everything. It's annoying. I actually haven't seen any of these costumes in gameplay yet, so we'll see how many in-between frames they made. There's so many costumes they don't make in-between frames. I swear to God, that's why they sped it up. That's why we have the new speed mode, so you don't notice Siegfried's sword popping in and out of existence in his costume, or Jolter's flag popping in and out of existence in her in-between frames. Like, I swear that's why. Yeah, I know that they're personal, but I gotta get NA over with. Like, I'm so behind. It's monkey on monkey violence. Well, I'll say at least this, they gave Arjuna in between frames there. I saw when he took a step forward, the monkey and his arm pose didn't stop. Like with Arthur and his stuff looks popped into existence though. Like with Arthur and Siegfried and Jolter, when they take a step forward and backwards, like before and after actions, their standing pose just randomly changes. Like that little leap forward Arjuna just did, his arm is still staying up and the monkey is still there. If that was Jolter, all of a sudden his arm would be back down by his side and the monkey would be gone, just as he steps forward. And then as soon as he's done stepping forward, boom, the arm would be back and the monkey would be back. Like that's how a lot of the costumes are, which is just ridiculous. These still aren't amazing though because they don't have in-between frames, like for their attacks and stuff, but welcome to DW. This costume though is at least okay though. Like that's definitely more effort than normal. Like fucking Siegfried, when he takes a little step forward, you know, the sword appears and disappears, and it's very, very jarring. Let's see if this monkey can actually kill George. I don't know, chat, what do you think? I like this costume, I just don't know if I'd actually use it over in stage 3 because I really like Arjuna's stage 3. I actually think in terms of quality of life, NA is actually better than JP right now, and I've never felt that way, and I should never feel that way because JP is the current version of the game. But NA doesn't have the janky-ass speed mode thing, which really lowers my enjoyment of like the game, especially when I'm fighting like major bosses and stuff. I haven't even really looked at some of the other costumes. I just saw them for a few seconds on the stream, so. The problem is, I feel like I'm in a bubble. Like, you know, my audience is a pretty specific set of values, right? You know, they prefer challenge, because all I do is do challenge quests, and I make new accounts to replay the story, and I solo things, and we do 1 to 3 star things, and that kind of stuff. So that's mostly my audience, right? And then also, like you know, because of that, they value things like challenge quests and that kind of stuff, not so much just straight farming, right? And so I feel like the majority of the player base is actually happy with the new speed mode. And I feel like the majority of the player base doesn't care that they've never added a game mode in 5 years, right? Which people can like whatever they like. My whole point is, with the no speed mode thing, with the new speed mode, I'm like, I don't mind it existing. If you're happy it makes your farming a bit faster, good on you, but it needs to be optional. Like, because the problem is their version of it being optional is you just turn speed mode off. But you don't want to have to pick between Grandpa and Super Saiyan, right? Like, we needed... I like the old speed mode, right? Like, that's what I prefer. Oh yeah, we'll do some Izo. We'll do that next. I feel like Izo has such nice options. Like, his stage 1 is awesome because it fits him perfectly. It's kind of like his kind of canonical look, really, in my opinion. And then, you know, stage 2 is just super badass, and it's like the over-the-top edgy, you know. And then stage 3 is kind of my least favorite, but it's still fine. It's just not really my style, but it's done really well. You know, it's very fancy and stuff. Like, and then now he's got the anniversary costume. So like I feel like his costume, like his options. You know, he's got 4 completely unique stages, right? They're all very different from each other. So like, you've got such good options on Murder Hobo. I gotta say, this costume does look nice. I do like this costume. I think it does look really nice. But I think I might prefer his stage 3 more. The white is kind of Arjuna's shtick. But this is nice. I like how he's all calm there, and then you get Karna to show up and he just instantly goes Lost Belt mode. Alright, we'll do Izo. Dude, the rage is coming back. It's back, boys. How the flying fuck do we get an Emiya summer skin and a fucking Paul Bunyan skin before we get a goddamn Hawaiian coot? Like, the guy on stream put on a Hawaiian shirt. What is wrong with you? Like, I'm losing my mind. Ku's been in the game since day 1. He's the oldest Lancer in the Fate franchise. He's like one of the most requested characters to get a costume. And then, like, I like Izo and everything, but Izo is a noob. He's so much newer to the game than Ku. And he gets a costume, and motherfucking Paul Bunyan gets a goddamn costume before Ku gets his Hawaiian shirt. Like, what the actual fuck? Like, I can't believe this, dude. Like, we're doing a summer event. Like, I remember, you gotta understand, chat. run the clock back. When FGO first existed, we did not have costumes. They didn't exist. Costumes were introduced in the Summer 1, the first summer events rerun, right? So they had so you have Summer 1 rerun for costumes, and Summer 2, Summer 3, Summer 4, and now Summer 5, for fuck's sakes, right? Now, I appreciate it, but you got that's a lot of gifted subs, sir. But I really appreciate it. Thank you, man. And Jesus, I really appreciate all the people subbing last night when I wasn't even talking, right? We were just watching the stream. But thank you, Finn. You've gifted more subs than anyone. I appreciate it, man. But you gotta save thy money. We're in a pandemic, sir. Okay, so Summer 1 rerun. No coup costume. But it's like, you know, they didn't really do that many costumes for that when they first added costumes. So okay, fine. Then they do Summer 2. You know, they added a few costumes, you know, no summer coup. And it's like, okay, this kind of sucks. It's like, when way back then, this was so many years ago now, I was like, oh, you know what? Surely at some point they're going to do Hawaiian shirt coup. It's so thematic to these summer events. And Ku's been in some of these summer events. And people want, you know, it was a really popular look for him in Fate Hollow and stuff. So, I mean, surely they're going to add this. And it's so little work. It's so little work to add it, right? It's not that hard. And then you got Summer 3, and I'm like, wow, they didn't add Summer Coup? Are you kidding? I was like, well, okay, I mean, they're taking a while, but surely next year. And then Summer 4, no, fuck you, not doing it there either. And we're even doing males now, by the way. Like, now we're specifically doing male costumes. Like, never mind before, it was just all female stuff. Like, now we're specifically doing male summer costumes. And we're even doing 3-star ones. Robin! Why does Robin get one? Like, I like Robin and everything, but how do you not just do Hawaiian shirt coup, for fuck's sakes? Like, if you're bothering to do male 3-star summer, you know, costumes, how is this not an obvious pick here? And then Summer 5, nope, get Emiya, you get Emiya, but no, you don't, you can't have, I just don't, I get it, I'm biased, I like coup. But even, bias aside, it's been 5 years. It's been 5 years, even a million summer events, and the reruns. You're adding all these costumes. Izo looking really stylish, by the way. But, and we can't get, like, one of the most basic costume ideas that everyone had day one. Like, you're killing me. And then so it's like, on the one hand, my boy Proto-Ku can't get a fucking buff, right? When he needs it. And then Ku, who doesn't need a buff, gets a buff. But he can't get a costume. And then we can't, and then you got all these new things, and you can't play story. You can't go fight, you know, any tough bosses with them. And Dream with the gifted sub. Thank you, Dream. Okay, let's check out our boy stuff here. So, does the parasol just evaporate when we're moving around? Let's find out. Well, yeah, it kind of just disappears there, but... Is it bad, chat, that I was hoping he was going to hit that guy in the face with the parasol with his Buster animation? Is it bad that I kind of wanted that? So I will say, these costumes are better because the in-between frames are actually animated. But here's something that annoys me, and hopefully they'll fix this when they get animation updates. I assume Jolter is going to get an animation update at some point, and they'll update her costume with that, and they'll probably fix the in-between frame and stuff, and same for Arthur. Siegfried's probably fucked. But this is a problem. This is a fundamental problem I have, and this was exasperated on the stream yesterday. They do not retroactively fix things. We're over here buffing. We're buffing Hercules, boys. But fucking Sanson still has anti-human instead of anti-humanoid, right? As we use Izo, who actually works properly, right? So often, DW notices their mistakes. They'll eventually figure it out. Like, it's bad that they designed these things the way that they do in the first place, but eventually they figure it out. Like, the original costumes, not having it animated in between frames with their unique sprites and stuff, was shit! That looked so bad. It looked cheap. You know, you have this game making all this money, and they're fucking being cheapos with their costumes. It's like, what the fuck? Right? And so now costumes, they seem to be doing better right? So far they're doing better with the in-between frames, right? They kind of learned, oh yeah, it's really bad when the in-between frames we don't have the unique costume stuff. But they don't go back and fix the ones that are broken that have the old ones. It's just like with Sanson, you know, they'll add Ezo. They'll add Ezo like, oh, you know what? This anti-human thing is way too niche and it doesn't do anything. We'll make it humanoid so it actually counts for servants. You know, this is much better, right? And then like with Arthur, Arthur's got that anti-giant damage. You know, that's very niche. A lot of times you're not gonna get that. But oh look, they gave Arthur another effect on that skill. He gives himself a battery. That's pretty much always how they do it now, is if you have like a really niche skill, they'll give it something else that's always useful, at least somewhat. But they don't go back and fix stupid shit like Sanson, who's over there, like, you know, falling in the tar pit, like, can somebody help me here, right? They're like, no, we gotta give Ezo a costume. You know, like, seriously, Ezo is added to the game way after Sanson. And he gets humanoid instead of human. They can't fix Sanson, and then fucking Ezo gets the costume instead of Sanson as well. It's just feels bad, man. At least he buffed Phantom, but his buff wasn't even very good. Like his buff was pretty niche, and it is handy in that niche, but Phantom is still one of the worst units in the game. Like so that was unfortunate. You know, meanwhile, you got Hohenheim, when they buffed him, he just gets, you know, skyrocketed into fame. I love when the enemies are so weak they can't kill your taunt walls. I should have brought Shingon. Trying to see Ezo's animations here. He's definitely better. Phantom is objectively better, and he has a niche now, but it's a niche in a niche. And like, most of the time, yeah, it feels like I should have been day one. I agree with that, Rex. Like, Phantom is how he should have been day one now, and then he should have been buffed since then. Because most of the times you need buff removal, and you're a budget player, or you just wanted to use a budget team, you're still probably going to use Medea or Alexander. It'd be very unlikely that a situation would call for buff removal, and then him specifically. It would have to, because even if he's counterclassing, he's not good. Even if he's counterclassing, it's not good, and you're probably better off with Alexander. It needs to be where, for various reasons, Medea or Alexander is bad, and then an assassin makes sense. That's the only stage I can think of the entire game where Phantom makes sense now over Alexander or Medea is Lee's students. The fight with Lee's students, I think Phantom is better than them. However, I don't know if he's good enough to make the cut, because Alexander and Medea aren't good enough to make the cut on a budget team. If you're doing 1 to 3 stars, and especially 1 to 3 star craft essences as well, Medea and Alexander don't make the cut on that stage. And I think Phantom is more likely to make the cut than them, but I'm not sure he actually makes the cut. I think you might be better off just bringing a bunch of other assassins. So that his buff, I'm scared. Like, I'm glad he got it, because he deserves all the help he can get, but you know, it's just not that good. It's just not that good. He needs a lot more. Because it doesn't change the fact that his first skill is still terrible, and his third skill is still terrible, and his hit counts are terrible, and his deck is bad for the hit counts that he has, right? Like, and his attack stat is trash. Like, it doesn't fix any of those things. All the things that made Phantom terrible before, or is he still terrible? It's just like, oh yeah, that little niche he has is better. I'm just so scared that the JP players are just giving them all good feedback right now. And they're like, oh, thank you for all this SQ and blah, 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 and yeah, Caster Artoria, right? I really hope they get shredded. And it's not because I hate them. I don't want to hate FGO at all. I want to like FGO. I love this franchise. This game has a lot of really cool gore. Really good, well, I mean, Ezo's got the gore, but core gameplay is really good. Like the mechanics, when they make boss battles like Zeep, it's fucking awesome. You know, Nero Fest, Skill Fest, those boss battles are awesome. All these challenge quests are awesome. They make good gameplay when they bother. There's all these fundamental problems that really frustrate the hell out of me. I want FGO to be better than all the other mobile games. You know, I'm so jealous of Arknights, right? They're over there with a safety net. You know, they have story replay and New Game Plus mode, and they have other game modes like that Annihilation mode and all that stuff. They monetize costumes, so we get costumes way more frequently, right? And Arknights gets way more costumes because they actually just sell them for like a set amount. They don't make you roll the fucking gacha. They let you buy them for a set amount. That's both from a business standpoint smart, because you diversify your revenue streams, which is extremely smart. Because a lot of people are just never going to roll the gacha. Like, they'll just use free SQ. There are so many people that are never going to whale. They're just not, and they're not going to even dolphin, right? Like, they're just going to use their free SQ. right? The whole gambling aspect is just they're just not going to do it. Where if you sell them a skin for 5 to 20 bucks, like you just spend this money and you get this thing, period, right? That appeals to a different demographic, and that's smart because you get people spending that otherwise wouldn't spend. There's no point in putting them in the gacha because the whales are going to whale anyway, so just fuck it, like that's not worth it. And I feel like the reason they don't sell costumes is because they've already set the standard. They've already set the standard, and so they feel trapped. And so that's why my whole thing is, as a player, you should not be mad if you start monetizing costumes. Because you'll actually get fucking costumes and of higher quality. Whereas right now we barely ever get them, and their quality varies, right? And a lot of them suck. A lot of the costume quality sucks. These ones seemed alright though, but... and I'm not talking about the costume design, I'm talking about the costume implementation. Like, that's the problem. And I would say this, I think they should still give out some costumes for free from time to time. Like for these anniversary ones, you should give those out for free, stuff like that. There should be costumes here and there that are free, and event rewards and things like that. But you need to start adding a lot more costumes. Like League of Legends, even their niche character that's super unpopular has some costumes. Everyone does, and it's worth it because their favorite. Someone's gonna like that character and want those skins. So Phantom should have a costume. Spartacus should have a costume. Now, if you want to give way more costumes to Masashi, like if Masashi has 10 costumes, I get it, fair enough. She's popular, right? Like that's fine. Literally, like League does that. League of Legends is over there like 20 costumes for like the most popular characters. I'm not gonna complain about that. I get it. But so add costumes that are free, but not very many, and then frequently add costumes that are free. I mean, frequently. If you need to hire more artists, do it. You have the money, DW. You have plenty of money. Like, this game makes so much profit. So if money is the reason, like, if you don't have enough artists, just hire more fucking artists, for God's sakes. And then just add costumes, like, every fucking patch. Maybe not that much, but, like, really often. And yeah, most people aren't gonna buy those costumes, But then that's gonna be someone's favorite character. Like, I would buy Ku's costumes. I don't care. I would spend $5-10 bucks or whatever to get like Hawaiian shirt Ku. I would do that. There's no problem. If it gives me the fucking costume, I'd do it. Like all my favorite characters. If you get like Billy, remember that Outrage CE where Billy's got the nice black suit and the cool hat and all that? I'd buy that. I'd buy that. I swear. That's another thing. You don't even have to design the costumes, for fuck's sakes. You have to make them, but like the designs already exist. You have a million CEs with all these amazing costumes that people are drooling over, and you don't add any of them. It's like, oh, okay, great. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like I get it. Because they don't spend money on them, it's hard for them to justify the time and the hiring of artists and those kinds of things. I don't know why I just did Leonidas' taunt. That was pointless. I guess we'll try to get us in peace so we can taunt next turn. But like, I get it. If you put them out all for free, it's hard to justify making that many costumes. But that's why you just charge for them, and problem solved. I mean, there's really nothing for me to rant about with Cast Oratorio. I don't know why everyone was expecting that one. I've ranted about literally everything else. I mean, I'll say this: I'm disappointed in that I would have much preferred Zeus as the anniversary servant or something like that, not some random bitch that hasn't even shown up in the story yet. But like, I don't, she's not my cup of tea, but I don't care that she exists. And it's like, and I don't think she's overpowered. I think she's very powerful, and I think she's top tier, but I don't think she's not power creeping Merlin and Scatty. I'm sorry, that's not happening, right? She's just a very, very strong support that will be relevant in the meta. And I don't really like the meta units anyway, right? I don't like doing double Merlin waiver nonsense. I don't do that stuff anyway. So the fact that there's another unit in that, because I've often argued that I think the top end units are too strong compared to the mid tier and stuff, and I stand by that, but it's not like her existing doesn't change the fact that Waver and Scatty and Tam and Merlin already exist, right? So it's like, whatever. Like, I wish the top tiers, the gap between the top tiers and the free-to-play stuff wasn't so large. Like, I really wish the gap between the free-to-play units, the 1 to 3 stars, and like the random 4 stars and stuff wasn't so large with the top tier 5 stars. But it is. And then just adding another one, it just doesn't really matter, so... But again, she's not my, Tam is not dead. I think it's so stupid people think Tam is dead. Like, you're not gonna see Tam as much in, farming and stuff, but people don't use her much for farming anyway. They should, though. It's actually really easy to make really nice 3-turn setups with Tam. Tam's a great farming unit. But yeah, I think Artoria is definitely way easier to use and is way more straightforward, and is good for challenge quests and farming. But still, you're still gonna see Tam. I mean, Tam is so much better on stall teams. And I mean, there's almost no the amount of value you can get out of cooldown reduction is just nuts, and the level of cooldown reduction she can give you. No one makes your supports more broken than Tam. Like, Waver getting constant cooldown reduction is bullshit. Fucking Merlin getting constant cooldown reduction is bullshit. And oh look, Waver gives you more NP, so you get more cooldown reduction, right? And same for, do you realize how good Caster Artoria is with Tam? Like, it's absurd. Like, let's just casually lower, you know, her skills. Like, it's ridiculous. Now, I will say, the one area that I think where Caster Artoria might be taking it too far is her NP. Like, she basically gives you protection from arrows to anybody. That's pretty bullshit, right? That, I think, might be taking it too far. That, on that aspect, I do think she might be going to that's the part of her kit where I'm like, okay, this might be too strong in Challenge Quest. Like, truly, I think that might be too strong in Challenge Quest. And I swear this is going to make them start giving bosses more buff removal, because buff removal gets around her invincibility, where piercing vulnerability doesn't. That's what gets me. That's what gets me. You know, I can just opt to not use Merlin and Waver and Scatty and stuff, and so if I still want to have like more interesting gameplay, I can do that. Right, so no harm, no foul. The problem is when they start designing bosses around those units, and so they're hard even if you have Merlin and Scatty and stuff. But it's not like, people act like when they make bosses to counter Merlin, it means you don't use Merlin. No, you still use Merlin, it's just harder, right? Like, all the bosses where they try to make the whole double Scatty thing not work, people still use double Scatty! They just also then use Nero Bride and Chen Gong and, you know, other supports to, you know, kind of continue the chain, right? And use Poster Girl and Switch Mystico and stuff. So you're not going to get rid of these things, it just makes them less good. And what happens is when you start designing bosses to make a boss battle still difficult, even if you are using Merlin, is it makes people that aren't using Merlin get fucked. And so I'm really worried that Caster Artoria is going to start making them make bosses that's like spam buff removal and shit like that, and then it makes, you know, Hans and Ku and all them just completely worthless, right? So like that I'm not looking forward to. But that's kind of been the consistent problem with them adding overpowered units, and then them trying to make bosses that are still difficult for those overpowered units in mind, right? Like I do not dig that. Yeah, you can get more hits out of it, and the thing is, it's easy to get more hits out of it. Because first of all, you could give her demonic, and there's a bunch of hits. But it's so easy to use her on a team with Tam, right? So you have Tam NP, and you have a Caster Artoria NP on the same turn. And so now your cooldowns have been reduced, and you just overcharged the thing, and now you've got extra hit. It's and you use her with Merlin or whatever, and use Merlin's NP, then use her NP. You just use her NP second or third, and there you go, right? And it's ridiculous. Like, it's really ridiculous. Like, I mean, you can actually eclipse protection from arrows because because of the overcharge. Like, it's pretty busted. So that's the thing I'm worried about. The other stuff, I'm like, yeah, this is really, really strong, but it's not really any stronger than what we've already seen. I don't know why I have so many viewers. I'm confused, to be honest. I'm just bitching about how fucked the anniversary was, and I'm not really sure why I have all these viewers, but I guess I appreciate it. But all right, I'll do the GSSR real quick, then we'll show off these other costumes, and then I'll probably wrap up just because I'm so tired. I would love to like stream a bunch. I have so much I want to talk about, and I also have a lot I want to test with these new command codes. There's so much I want to do right now, but I'm crazy sleepy. So it's not even sleepy. I'm actually not sleepy at all. There's no way I could sleep right now. I'm fatigued, like, because I didn't sleep enough. I'm fatigued, and like there's like, you know, brain drain basically. All right, give me a second. I need to look at. I honestly don't know what GSSR to do. I don't like any of them. Like I just don't like any of them. None of these look statistically good for me. Like on my I kind of want to do the original one because, you know, maybe I get another Edmund and I don't have Scath on any of my JP accounts. And I'm sure she's going to get an animation update someday, and I've got her, like, you know, really upgraded on in A, so that'd be kind of cool. But I don't like Scath enough to want to, like, get the mats for her and stuff. It give me a chance at Hercules and Beowulf, though, and that's kind of nice. But the thing is, there's just, I just don't know what to do, because I would never do this if I wasn't a streamer. Like, all the things, the few that would give me good odds, I already have the 5 stars that I want. You know, I already have Arthur. I already have Mordred. You know, so none of these have good odds. None of them. None of them. And the one I was like kind of leaning towards was the Romulus one, because I really like Romulus, and that'd be cool to get another Romulus. Maybe get an Orion. I like Orion, you know, and I don't mind Musashi and Ruler Artoria, so like that's okay. But then it's got fucking Trap Face in it, and Space Ishtar, and Voyager, and like all of that. But I do really like Romulus. I tell you, I would go with whichever one had Tesla, if any of these had Tesla. Unfortunately, none of these have Tesla. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm leaning between the year one, which is like, you know, Gilgamesh, Scath, Berserker Kentoki, you know, Edmund, that kind of thing. It's either that one, I think, or it's the recent one who's got Romulus in it, or it's the one with Moriarty, because I love Moriarty to death, even though his maps are terrible and he's never been buffed. And there'd be a slight chance I got Arthur, and I won't lie, if I got another Arthur, I would actually be really happy, because although I have him at a high NP rank, getting at an even higher NP rank would be pretty sweet. But oh my god, I could get Lancer Tam again, and I've gotten Lancer Tam so many times when I do GSSR, and I always lose my fucking mind because I hate her. I could also get Ishtar, and I've gotten Ishtar out of a GSSR before, and I also hate her. I could get Kiara, and I don't like her. Like, there's a lot of bad here. There's a lot of bad here. But so it's basically between Moriarty, long shot, because it's gonna be a long shot no matter which one I pick. It's gonna be one hell of a long shot. So it's Moriarty versus Romulus versus like you know, Scath, Edmund, you know, Beowulf, Hercules, long shot. Let me think. I'm kind of leaning towards Romulus, the Romulus one, because I love Romulus so much. And then I wouldn't mind getting... I really would like to get Orion, and I wouldn't mind getting like NP2, Ruler Artoria and stuff. I don't know though, what if I got Canis? That'd be so bad, because I have NP5 Canis. I feel like I'm going to be disappointed no matter what I pick. Like, these are all so messed up. What's in the Moriarty? So people else can like look... Well, I'm not just talking to myself. You want to look at what I'm looking at. Here's the thing. So, for the 4 stars are unlikely, but like going for a 4-star would be nice. There's like 4 stars. There's the one with Hot Wheels. Hot Wheels is awesome, but I don't like any of the 5 stars in that one really. Oh, God Juno would be nice. God Juno would be nice. The Day 1 one has so many 4 stars in it that I feel like that's not a good one. This is an easy way to get some of the 3 stars though. Some of these have so few 3 stars in them. You know what? I'm telling. Okay, my new free-to-play account, I'm not going to do the GSSR, and I'm going to stay 100% free-to-play. But if I could do the GSSR and my new free-to-play account, I would do the one that has Asclepius in it, because your odds of getting a copy or 2 of Asclepius are decent, and that's worth it. Like, dear God, that's worth it. I would 100% pick that one. I would gun for Asclepius over all these fucking 5 stars. Like, absolutely. The GSSR also has a 4-star in it? Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay, well, 4-star wise, you know, Hercules and Beowulf are what I want the most. But I'm not going to go for that because the odds are just too shit. The odds are just too shit. There's too many 4 stars. I wouldn't mind getting Calamity Jane just because I don't think I'd ever roll on her again in the future. But it'd be nice to have her higher NP rank because although her design is ridiculous, I do really like her gameplay. But getting Canis would be awful because she's already in P5. I literally don't care about any of the other 4 stars in there. So that's kind of rough. Other 4 stars. A lot of the 4 stars I care about, I've got at a decent NP rank now. Okay, fuck it. I'm gonna go with the recent one. There's so much stuff in this I don't like, but there's so much stuff I don't like in all of these. Getting NP3 Romulus or just NP1 Orion, that would be awesome. Like, that would really be awesome. And if we happen to get like Calamity Jane or something, that'd be all right too. So we'll go with the most recent one. Give me a second here. I don't want to show off my account information or any of that, or my credit card information or that bullshit. Let me nuke my screen for a second. I'm pretty sure I just have enough paid SQ on me from like the last time I did this, but I need to make sure. I don't want to. But I've got to check here. Man, I wish Tesla was in one of these. So yeah, we're YOLOing for Romulus or Orion, pretty much. Okay, I think it tells you if you have when you click it. Let me make. I gotta be just in case this actually starts rolling. I need to make sure I can turn my screen back on, but I need to. So yes, okay, yeah, I do have enough. I do have enough paid. Okay. All right, here we go, boys. I guess we'll let it play. These are so short. We'll let it play. You can get CEs. That is cruel. That is just cruel of them. Like if you're trying to get Asclepius or Bedivere or something, that's just mean. That's just mean. They shouldn't do that. Like seriously, because like this would be like a nice way to get Bedivere or Columbus or something like that. Please no Voyager. I don't like Voyager at all, man. It's a shame I already have Ricky Boy at NP5, because I tell you what, man, there's been so many bad things in this game, but that's not one of them. That is not one of them. Ricky Boy is... What a blessing for the game, because he's an FP. He's an FP summon. Like, he's just a total gem, and then he's also an FP, so very happy about that. Dude, if I get Trap Face, I'm just... Oh my god, I hate him so much. He's one of my least favorite... I just do not like him at all. And I know a lot of people like him, and good for you, but... That's okay, but not really what I mean, I'm okay with the Dino, I guess, but like, eh. It could have been worse. It could have been worse. I hate everything. I fucking hate everything. This happens every time I do GSSR, by the way. I cannot remember the last time I did a GSSR and I got something I wanted. It's always Ishtar and fucking Lancer Tam and Trap Face. It's always that shit, man. Every time. Thank you for the subs, Eric. I appreciate it. Motherfucker, man. It's like every time. I just cannot remember the last time I did a GSSR that I got anything I cared about. And I get it. So I dislike a lot more 5 stars than I like, or I'm neutral about, right? So it's not like the odds are good. But it's like can just throw me a bone once and give me something that I actually want? That's not that. One, I already have that, and I just do not give a shit about that. Like, you totally could have ran that back if I'd gotten like Calamity Jane or something at a higher MP rank. That was shit, man. That was so shit. But I knew it was going to be shit. God damn, I love this. Okay, this is amazing. I'm not gonna lie. That summoning line is 10 out of 10. Honestly, I would like Dino Mom and fuck off. Just get off my screen. Just go away. God. But anyway, I would actually be really happy with Dino Mom if her NP was not just the laziest thing ever. And it was just like, oh, it's the same in all 3 stages, so it doesn't matter which stage you put her in and all that kind of stuff. Oh, that sucked. That's pretty much what I expected, though. I mean, that's kind of what happens. Yeah, I'll probably will burn for rare prisms because I will never use him. The only reason I'm not going to burn right away is I have enough rare prisms on me right now that if I ever need rare prisms, I have them. But if I'm ever in need of rare prisms, I'll burn them. And the only reason to keep them is maybe they add a strengthening quest for them that you fight like, or an interlude where you fight like a really cool boss. That happens from time to time, right? You know, we've kept units just for that. And then once you unlock the strengthening quest, you can then burn them, and you keep the strengthening quest. So that's what we do. If you ever get the strengthening quest where you fight, like, you know, let's say they add Roland, and you get to fight Roland in the interlude or something, like how you fight Tristan, you know, in Tristan's interlude. You know, if you ever do something like that, we get that, we keep the boss battle, then we burn them for rare prisms. Because you actually, if you meet the requirement for an interlude or a strengthening quest, you can then burn the unit and keep the strengthening quest. It's pretty silly. I know some people really like him, and if I could give him to you, I would. Seriously, I would value giving somebody a unit they want, like a 5-star they want, more than the rare prisms, right? So if I could give this away, I would, but I can't, and I don't like him, so you know, fuck me. But like, I know, like, I'm not one of those people where I'm like, I'm, you know, if other people like the thing, I do feel, I legit, I get it. It sucks if you see streamer that doesn't even want the thing and you want the thing, I get it. Like, I understand, and you know, my condolences. But on the flip side, you gotta understand how fucking annoying it is to not like a unit at all, and every time you do a GSSR, you always get a 5-star like that. Every time. Every fucking time I do a GSSR, I get a 5-star I absolutely hate. Like, it fucking sucks, man. I will say this, and I guess this, I'm paying for it. The first GSSR I did on my main account, it was a Saber GSSR, and I knew I was kind of doing a long shot. There was a lot of stuff in it that I didn't really want. I was like, the one thing I want is Mordred, and I got Mordred twice out of the GSSR, and that's why I had MP3 Mordred for so long. And so that was awesome, right? Like I'll never forget that. Like I was so lucky, and Mordred's one of my absolute favorite characters, and I use her all the time, and I got the cool armor now and all of the animation update. So I'm not, you know, I'm not spoiled here. I still appreciate the things that I have. You know, I got my 100 coup, you know, I got my Achilles on the other account and all that, so, you know, I'm good. It's just, it would be nice to, you know, stop getting fucking Lancer Tam. I think I've gotten Lancer Tam twice. And there was that one GSSR on the ult account that got Achilles and Iskandar. That was pretty nice. Alright, let me see here. Oh, you know what? Let me real quick just to see what we get. No reason in holding this off. Do our fragments. I know some people don't do their fragments until they roll because they don't want to be tempted. I don't have that problem. I just don't have that. I'm never tempted. Like I know when I want to roll, right? Like I know when I should and when I shouldn't. And for me, if anything, I'm actually more I'm more tempted to roll when an account has no SQ. I'm like, oh, it doesn't even matter. But if I've already got a bunch saved up, I'm like, oh, I need to save this for the thing I really care about because it's like a really good shot at something I care about. So that is kind of cool, though. They literally, because I've beaten the whole story, they just gave me like a 350 SQ right there. That's kind of nice. So we got a long way to go, but we've almost recovered from all that SQ we blew. And seriously, and this is all free to play SQ. That's crazy that just in this amount of time we've kind of almost recovered all the SQ that we've done like half. We've got about a half the SQ that we used in Lost Belt 5. So yeah, I mean they are generous with SQ. It's just I got nothing to roll on, so yeah, I'm ready for Sir K, Green Knight, you know, Border Gurn, anything like that they might add in Lost Belt 6. I'm fucking ready, boys. If Aggravated was a 3-star, that'd be awesome. I'd grail him. That'd be, oh my god, that'd be cool. Just please give him his helmet. Oh my god, give him his helmet in stage 1. You got Castor Tori and a 10 roll. I don't even know how many tickets I have. I'm just not interested in Castor Tori. I don't dislike her. She's just whatever to me. Like I have no strong feelings one way or the other, right? So I often use my summon tickets on stupid shit, but like I'll wait for something else. I just especially because she's like really good. I'm more willing to like just roll for a random 4-star that has gameplay I find interesting, right? Like I'm more likely to use tickets on that. I'd actually use this. This is Ashnard's theme from Fire Emblem, and I think he's kind of got a Vortigern vibe. I would totally use this music for Vortigern if he got added. Beowulf animation update. I'd be down for that. Man, that was just depressing. Like that was just okay. Next costume. Let's do Nero's. I didn't really see what that one looked like, to be honest. So. God, I can't believe Ku didn't get a Hawaiian shirt, man. It's just, I don't know. Maybe they're gonna surprise this chat. They don't give away everything with the summer event on the stream. They did this last year where there was things they didn't show off. Now they did show off all the costumes, but maybe there's no 3-star male. There's 2 4-star males. That's abnormal. But there's still 3 males, and that's normally to do is 3 males. So maybe they're gonna surprise us. And maybe they're gonna surprise us. And they haven't shown the welfare yet, and they haven't shown the part 2 banner yet. Generally what they show on the stream is they show the part 1 stuff, the part 1 banner stuff, and like the male servants. But they don't show the welfare, and they don't show the part 2 banner. So there's still a lot of other stuff to come. Hawaiian shirt, Ku welfare, that'd be interesting. So, looking at this costume, I mean, it's okay. Am I the only one that feels like her head's too big? I feel like they're taking the head from her original sprite, which is oversized because it's an old sprite, and they're painting a new body on it, and it doesn't match. Like, I feel like the body is a bit more up to date, and the head is like a really old, out of date sprite. I feel like Nero needs an animation update now, because this doesn't look right. That's what they did. That doesn't surprise me. This looks really bad. I actually feel bad for Nero fans. I'm not much of a Nero fan, but like, I feel bad because that's really lazy. Like they bothered to like, you know, draw the new costume and stuff, but this is just being slapped on in such a lazy way. I feel like this could look so much better than it does. Like, I legitimately feel bad for Nero fans, and I'm not a Nero fan, but that sucks, man. Like, that really sucks. It feels like Jolter's costume is just so bad because, again, it's just so lazily pasted on there. Yep, this looks fucked. They really need to fix that up. I'm trying to read what Vold says, but my chat's freaking out on me. Yeah, they never announced the welfare in the Gacha. And you gotta understand, chat, they always have multiple 4 stars in summer. People, I see this every summer. I see this every fucking summer. They announce 2 4 stars, and everyone's like, which one's the welfare? I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Every goddamn summer event has had 2 4 stars in the Gacha, right? And then there's more 4 stars in the Part 2 Gacha. I don't know why this happens every goddamn year. Like, learn, you bastards, learn! No, sure, there's a chance every once in a while DW does weird shit, and maybe, you know, maybe one of those is the welfare, but I doubt it. I will say this, the Brunhilde design was okay. I generally just do not care about summer servants. Like, I'm just not, I'm just never into the whole swimsuit thing. But that one was okay, the colors were cool. Like, that was alright. So if she's got cool gameplay, I might throw tickets at that or something. But I'm not like, oh my god, this is amazing. But that was fine, that was a nice design. Like, most of the summer designs, I'm just like, I don't care. But that was alright. And before she's a berserker, though, and they're going to take the yandere thing too far. I'm hoping just Saber, because berserker gameplay is always a trip. I guess I do kind of, I never thought of that. I have Ziggurat, and I like Ziggurat a lot, and I don't have Brunhilde, so it feels bad. Maybe I should try to get her. Not gonna roll on it, though. Like, I'm not gonna use SQ or anything like that. Like, no way. My ass is saving for, you know, Camelot stuff, and if they ever add Zeus, or if they ever add Loth, you know, Henry V, you know, that kind of stuff. That's what I'm saving for. I know the stuff I want, right? So I'm not blowing my SQ on summer shit. Unless somebody just randomly has like the best gameplay of all time, and you know, they had like, you know, a 5-star coup with the Hawaiian shirt. Like, obviously that I would roll on. So legitimately, I feel like the design on this Nero costume is pretty good, but the way they put it in the game is bad. Like, they made a new body and they copy pasted her old head onto it, and it looks terrible as such, and it's a waste of a good design. And I feel like if they were ever going to give her an animation update, they would have done it with this costume, because now they'd have to give her an animation update twice, because they'd have to update her old sprite and the new costume, and they're not going to want to do that. So I think Nero's fucked, and this costume's always going to be bobblehead mode. The only chance that she has is the fact that Nero's just popular. And so, you know, maybe they would give her an animation update again just because Nero's popular. That's like the only way I could see Nero fans getting saved from this. I don't know, maybe somebody thinks this looks fine, but I think the big head syndrome here is pretty real. Like, I think I'd be more mad if I was a Nero fan because you're getting, it's like, it's so rare that you get nice costumes for the characters you like, and then you get one and then it's like wasted, right? Like, that feels really bad. Did they give these art? I guess they did. I'm guessing the pictures on the side is their art. God. I mean, at least we got new bronzes. Like, seriously, the new bronzes were awesome. But yeah, they still didn't add any core gameplay stuff, which was really disappointing. But at least we got the new bronzes, where this didn't add any new core gameplay stuff, and we didn't really get anything. Like, we can just respec for free. That's it. This doesn't really look any different. Like, I don't really remember her stages, but this seems very similar to, like, one of her other stages. Like, again, I don't really remember her stages, so if you showed me this, I would have been like, yeah, that's probably her stage 1 or something. Like, I just doesn't really seem that unique. But maybe it's way different and I just don't know what I'm talking about. Doesn't she always have roller skates sometimes? It's her outfit from FGO Arcade. That sounds familiar. It makes sense to do that, though. I wonder if they'll make this a recurring thing, though, where they do a bunch of costumes on Anniversary. By the way, we got no animation updates. Literally no animation updates with the Anniversary, so that was great. No new bronze, no new animation updates, no game modes, nothing. Feels bad. I should have done slow-mo, but... whoops. That didn't really change anything. Wow, she didn't kill it. Although I didn't buff or anything. Alright, saving the worst for last. Even with all this nonsense, it has not changed that Paul is still my least favorite character in FGO. It's also a really random costume for her. I don't really get it. Now I'm not really excited for Heaven's Feel because Heaven's Feel is my least favorite route in Fate Stay Night, and I'm like I say this every stream, but I think Fate Stay Night's characters are great and they're done really well and they're really interesting and stuff. But I think the actual like story in all of Fate Stay Night, all the routes are kind of bad. There's a lot of like plot devices and contrived nonsense and plot armor everywhere. So I have mixed feelings about Fate Stay Night in general, although I do think the cast is fucking great. But I don't like Heaven's Feel at all, so I'm not really that interested in the movies. Not only do I not like Heaven's Feel at all, but I feel like a lot of the changes Ufotable has made have been bad. Like they made some like, you know, changes like how events play out and stuff a bit, and I don't really like the changes they've made. I think they're just pandering to popular stuff. And like the coup thing, like the whole fight with Curse Arm and everything, that they did that because they needed a big, you know, fancy fight scene for the first movie. Otherwise, the first movie would have been boring. So they like really played that fight up, and it's not supposed to be like that. It's not supposed to be close. You know, Curse Arm is supposed to be getting his ass kicked. Why would Scatty not work? Scatty still works as good as she always has. You can free turn fucking everything. Like that's literally nothing's changed there. I did find it funny though when they were trying to show these costumes off because they showed them off by showing the character's NP with the costume, and Paul's NP is so short, and it's just her foot. So I mean, it's like you didn't really see anything. So I feel like she needed new voice lines for this costume. Like, I really think she needed new voice lines for this costume. Because she looks like with the, you know, like, evil Halloween grin, but she's still, like, super calm and passive and stuff. I mean, like, Scatty and... It doesn't make it... Like, what the fuck? Scatty and Castor Artoria don't fill the same roles in any way. They're like, they're just not for the same stuff. Like, yeah, they're both top-tier supports, sure, but Scatty's for quick. Castor Artoria's for art. Like, these are not... They're not overlapping, right, at all. Oh god, guys, my Edmund double Scatty is gonna suddenly not 3-turn farm everything because Castor Artoria exists. Like, it doesn't work that way. Yeah, this is Gwen's theme, excuse me, from Dark Souls. It is similar to Gwen with all the sun stuff, I suppose. So did they give her any story with this? I remember when these stages used to always come with a bunch of story, but lately they haven't. Looks like it does. Uh-oh. Oh no. No story. Motherfucker, dude. Fuck introducing characters. Remember when Arthur got added and he had like a nice little story to kind of tie him into everything, you know? What is this stage? What am I looking at right now? This is clearly stage 1, but what is going on? This is kind of amazing, to be honest. Like, it's so ridiculous, it's kind of good. I do not know what I am looking at right now. Stage 2 is best. I have to see those stages. I haven't really looked at them. And we're getting so many summon tickets right now. Look at all that sprite work! Look at all that sprite! Remember the fucking welfare they just added, which they never reanimated her back foot no matter what the attack was? And so she's like constantly breaking her knee. It looks awful. And look at them putting there's so much more animation work into this already. God damn it, DW. Oh, DW, you fucking kill me, man. Okay, that was pretty lazy. I don't, yeah, we don't really need the protection from arrows right now. I just want to see the animation. This is so silly with this sprite. Dude, that looks so silly with that sprite. Like, it's so disconnected. Like, it's like, I don't know how to put it. It's like someone so out of place finding Avalon or something. Like, that's so whack. For third stage, there's different animations in NP. I'll check that out. Like, absolute invulnerability here. Well, considering that she's from a Lost Belt, I would expect her lore to be whack, because Lost Belts are generally like that. I should have checked for a BM combo. That's fancy. LOL. Well, look at them. Look at them. They gave it Pierce invulnerability as a permanent gimmick because lol she doesn't get hit. I see what you did, DW. Even though the thing has 34,000 health, and I think a lot of people killed it on turn 1. Wow, she almost one-shot it. That had actually been disappointing. Like, I don't want anyone to confuse what I've been saying. She is absolutely a ridiculously good support, right? But there's a difference between being another ridiculously good support and, like, replacing all the other good supports. She does not do that. That's just silly. I think people have gotten too caught up in the whales meta of, like, gas, and they forget so many players just use Merlin and stay alive forever. Like, I think a lot of people forget that. Alright, let's actually fight something with her for funsies, and then, can someone, Eric, can you, like, I know you like her stage 2, but can you slot stage 3? Because one, I haven't really seen it, and I just want to see what the animations are, so. Wait, I'm supposed to be more controversial than that. Fuck you, how dare you have a preference? Beastly is stage 3? Okay, good enough. That's a CE. That's an old school CE, and it's really good for her. I was supposed to bring Spartacus. Not supposed to bring George here. He won't die on turn 1. Fucking love this music. Wait, that's stage 2. I've been bamboozled! See, I don't know the difference offhand, because, you know, she was just added and everything, so... So, does this have the same animations then? Okay, we'll just switch then, we'll check out the other animations. Okay, something's got to give here. Yeah, I'll give it a second. I see stage 2 is the popular one. And look, another stage 2 one. Hold on, chat. I'm gonna BRB 1 second. I need to grab a hot dog bun. Oh yeah, so for more failures from last night, at the very end of the stream, they kind of like, they had an outro where they had the voice actress, there's a Joan of Arc and stuff, and she did like some songs from FGO, and that was fine, no problem there. But that was like, you know, that was their outro to end the stream, right? And then, at the very end, like they faded out, they had like the text come out that said like, you know, special, right? Like, oh wait, there's more. We'd already gone through the whole stream and all that, and they're like, oh wait guys, there's one more thing, right? And everyone's like, oh shit, maybe they're, you know, maybe they're gonna turn this around. And they have like a slow intro and everything, and it's just like costumes or some shit for VR MASH in like the VR game, like the VR game of FGO, where you just like, I don't even know what you do. It just you know, virtual reality bullshit. And I was like, that was just such a slap in the face. It was such a slap in the face where everything had been so disappointing all stream long. when it came to like the announcements and stuff. And then they throw that in. I was just like, dude, just that you would have been better off just not putting that there. Like you just set so much expectation there, and you just instantly drop the ball. So when I was watching the stream last night, and it was something very specific came to my mind, and I played this at the end of my stream because this just came to my mind so easily. Like this just sums up exactly how I felt last night.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
Just classic memes, and that just came to my mind like so strongly last night. I was like, yeah, this is accurate. All right, let's see if we got a stage 3. Chat, you're killing me right now. It's I think these count as event stages area if that helps. That was actually kind of funny. Now I have like this like I have this thing like my headcanon is Ari is just being really stubborn. Is just like no, stage 2 is the best. Which I'm sure Ari does feel that way actually, but I'm curious what stage 3 is now actually. I thought I saw, but maybe I didn't. I'm not really sure. I just want to know, is it like bad? One of these days, I have so many people on my friends list that are in the stream right now that have Artoria, and none of them are going stage 3. Eric, try slotting a different unit, and then putting her back in. Like send it all the way through. Like send like Nido. Is there a caster Nido Chris? Yeah. Do like Nido Chris or whatever the fuck, and then put her back in and see if that does it. We actually just used yours beastly, but it was stage 2. Rex, you do not understand how tired I am right now. Like you do not understand like how much brain fatigue I have. Is there like do you have to have Artoria yourself to get stage 3 or something? I don't understand. Are you not allowed to summon a support stage 3 Artoria? There's a spoiler setting now? What? What the fuck? How is that a spoiler? Dude, fuck this game. That's stupid. How is that a spoiler? She's rated up. There's no story. She's not. Hey, DW, by the way, I don't know if you noticed this or not. Lost Belt 6 isn't out yet. What the fuck? Oh my god. Oh my god. Hold on, you gotta make sure I don't accidentally show something on stream that can let someone hijack my account or any bullshit like that. Alright, Ari, give me some help here. What's the, I'm sure it's one of these on-off things, I would think. Surely it's something that's on that needs to be turned off. It's not automatically enabled? I think they might legitimately just not let you use stage 3 if you don't actually own the unit then. It's either that or somehow this spoiler thing is on when it shouldn't be. That's like the best picture to accidentally put on screen, by the way. Alright, give me a second, Wall. By the way, I'm really glad I hid my screen because I accidentally, last time I went into the options menu, I accidentally brought up my bind code. Don't want to show that. Obviously, no one would have my password, but still. Go up with this one. Or up more. Alright, what about this one? So it says off. Does it need to be on? Like, is the default of it being off mean you can't see spoilers or something? I mean, none of these look on. So this one? Because I mean, that's off. So if your name's not Area or Vol, can you shut the fuck up? Jesus Christ. Like I like how everyone's saying oh, it's on, it's not, like, that's so not helpful. So this one, I mean, it's blatantly turned off, so so I'm confused what the setting is. Your Vol just DM'd me, that'll make this so much fucking easier. No, not that one. Okay, then I'm guessing this one. Okay, like that one. That's way above. Way up. Okay. Fuck. So that's the first time moon runes have ever made a problem for me. Although they would not have made a problem for me if I wasn't streaming. Because what I would need to do, I can figure this shit out on my own, but I can't do it while I'm streaming. Like, and if I do what I would normally do, I'd end up showing stuff to the stream that I don't want to show to the stream. But normally I could look that stuff up and figure it out. But that's always what I do when I have to deal with options menu stuff. God, that was annoying. You did the wrong one. What? Say that so much. I'm guessing it was then lower. Well, you all kept saying things about like going up, right? So then I didn't think it could be below the one that I was sitting on. So I'm guessing it's this one then, and it's the one up below the one I was on. No, I have to go up even more. I'm so confused because you all, like, I only went up a bit and you all said like that one, but I don't think I ever went up this high. I'm just gonna look at the characters and see if the one that matches. So it's okay, it's way fucking up. Like, it's so much more above. Like, that's like literally the top one. That's like literally the top one. God, this is annoying. Why did they have to add this to the game? Like, it's so obnoxious. Like, the whole spoiler thing is so stupid. Like, I'm honestly insulted by this because it's just stupid. It's logically stupid, and it's because it's catering to fucking morons that think something matters that doesn't. Because you've got Napoleon. His name's not hidden. You know, he's just as relevant to the story as like any of the other characters they've introduced, right? Same for Sigurd, you know, Brunhilde, Canis, you know, any of this. None of those characters have their names in it. It's just a stupid fucking Epic of Remnant shit that doesn't actually matter. It's like a marketing thing. Oh, look how mysterious these things are. And people always complain that like you get spoiled in that. It's just fucking stupid, dude. For the love of God, don't put that on by default. Okay, we can actually use... why is that? I can't think of any reason why you would make her stage 3. I haven't seen her stage 3 yet, but I don't see why it would be a spoiler. When you're allowed to pull for her, right? And it doesn't like give you a warning if you have her, right? And so what's the difference, right? Because her story doesn't exist. There is no Lost Belt 6. Like, it's just ridiculous. God, I'm a bit peeved right now. This music, though. There's no way the NP's a spoiler. I mean, Avalon was a thing in fucking Fate Stay Night. It's not a fucking spoiler. Like, it's not even close to a spoiler. Like, it's the stupidest shit. That looks so different. What the fuck is going on? Why do we have, like, flying stabs? Why did I bring fucking George again? Peeved levels? Yeah, pretty much. I mean, between not getting any sleep, how fucking horrible this anniversary was. I mean, and then to top it off, the memorial stages they picked are just the stupidest shit on the planet. Like, they picked trash mobs for Camelot, and then the finale is a level 15 stage. Like, why? How did anyone think any of that was a good idea? I mean, this is blatantly not a spoiler. We're literally not being spoiled by anything right now. Guys, it's actually Artoria. Like, there's no spoiler here. Like, it's not a spoiler what weapons she decides to use. That's like, the fuck? I like how the last hand where I accidentally brought George. We had a really nice Artoria hand, and now we have none. But it's okay, we got a Spartacus special that'll do like 3k damage. That's a big help. Fuck it.
黄昏の時を再び下がっているように圧倒します。
I love Spartacus, man.
最果ての島
Is she flying?
罪の都最後の竜は我が胸にいかなる滅びにも我らは屈せず集う円卓の守護者たちラウンド・オブ・アバロン
How is in any way is that a spoiler? She just referenced Avalon. Wow, guys, no one knows what Avalon is. We've never talked about that ever before. You know, not like with Arthur or anything or regular Artoria. No. What's Avalon, guys? I wonder what that is. Guys, what's Excalibur? By the way, I was born yesterday. Lost Belt 6 is ruined. We know Avalon exists in the Fate universe. Oh no. I mean, like, you know, the NP's nice, I guess. It's just, why the fuck is that a spoiler? And why is there a goddamn spoiler thing anyway? I want to know, what happens if you put invulnerability on when you have super invulnerability? Does it no effect, or is it considered like an evade and then invulnerability? And then, like, which one does it take first, right? It stacks. I kind of figured it would stack, but so ideally it would take the gold one first because it doesn't last forever. But I kind of feel like it's gonna take the silver one first. It takes the super one first. That sucks. That's so pointless.
します輝き
I actually kind of like stage 3 more than the other stages. It's more serious. And that's pretty cool. Yeah, you have to say, if I did have her, I would go with stage 3. I think stage 3 is my favorite. I don't mind stage 2 either. They're fine. And I kind of like her first stage because it's just so silly. Like, it's so out of place. What happens if I use silver invulnerability when I already have it? I have a feeling that's gonna no effect. So I guess you don't NP, which that super sucks. Now this would be nice if we had NP2, because then we could work towards 200%, and that wouldn't be so bad. So the only unit that I feel potentially gets a bit power creeped, because being good doesn't mean you power creep, right? Power creep is when you're just someone else but better. That's power creep. And what I feel like this might be just better than is Joan of Arc. Like that's the one that I feel like gets the bitch. See, this is where if I could get it to 200%, I would just do, actually I'm gonna do it this way anyway. I just using vulnerability like this, because not using my art up for this long is bad. Yeah, I feel like Joan of Arc is the one getting a bit fucked here. There are some differences though, like there are some things in Joan of Arc's camp that she still doesn't have, but... How big is her art up? That's something I haven't seen. I haven't seen the numbers. Like, how big is her attack up and how big is her art up? I'm assuming her art up is huge because that's kind of what they want her to be. 50, yeah, I kind of figured. Yeah, she's gonna be very disgusting. If you're looping her NP, that's just super disgusting. This is Arthur's theme, excuse you. I'm actually really glad Arthur and Artoria don't share music. I'm glad they decided to give them each unique stuff. I think it's much better that way. I kind of want to do my other attacks more just to see the animations, but I don't want to die. I think Arthur is way cooler than Artoria in close but subjective things. Yeah, I mean, she has downsides, but she has a lot of upsides too. Like, she's not going to be the best support for every stage ever made, but for art teams, she's going to be very useful. Oh my god. I was going to win next turn, and he just LOL crits and kills me. I should have done regular invulnerability there. I was being greedy. We obviously could have won that, though, if I was, like, being meta. Okay, I think I need to wrap up, because it's hard to concentrate when you're this tired. I'll go more in depth on things tomorrow, because my god, I can barely play straight. Like that Lancelot solo, I was like, oh god, I realized like I was like barely able to concentrate. So we'll go in more into this tomorrow, but at least we got the basic stuff. But yeah, I'm very disappointed. Like, I'm extremely disappointed because the anniversary is the event I look forward to the most, and it's really our only chance for them to ever add a permanent new game mode. Like, dude, I'm just so tired of it. I'm so tired of them doing these bullshit events, and they try to act like they're adding a new game mode, but it's just like a limited time thing. It's super surface level. Like, it just sucks. I'm sick of this crap. I don't want to go for another year of just the same shit. Like, I'm tired of having this good combat system and all these characters I like. I mean, Jesus Christ, I've been playing this game for so long, look, I have so many characters I like so much, right? I barely get to use like Billy Koo and Canis and Mori and stuff because there's not any content that's hard enough to justify using them, right? It sucks. Like, I got so much stuff that I super like and all these crazy synergies, and I love doing low star stuff, and there's all these fun synergies. Like, I want to use Ricky Boy so much. Ever since they added Ricky Boy, I really want to compare him to Ushi and check out the pros and cons and stuff. And I can think of all these boss fights throughout the main story I could do that in, but I can't do any of those. And same for challenge quests, but I can't do any of those. I'm just so tired of this game just being a grind fest. But I don't even need to grind. I don't need to grind. All my shit's leveled. All my favorites are 10 to 10. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I want to use the stuff that I like. And I'm just tired of, like, every other month or whatever, we get a new event, and then, like, they do stupid shit like the Requiem event, where they act like it's in, like, look how new and different this is, and it's just, like, surface level stuff that doesn't matter, and then it's just gone in a month, and we're back to the same, like, I'm tired of that. Like, I'm so tired of that. Like, I'm not asking for too much to add some, like, basic game modes, like a boss rush mode, a challenge, those are standard. Those are standard as fuck in this genre, right? And most other games don't do them very well. That's the thing, because most other games have gear. So it's like, you might have a boss rush mode, but like it's easy to overgear it, and it's not fun anymore, blah, 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 blah. FGO is so lucky because they have such a, like, it's so crazy how all the challenge quests they've made over like the last 3 years are all basically on par with like the amount of stats that you need and everything, right? So it's like a lot of old content doesn't become trivial, and that's awesome. So it'd be so easy for them to make game modes that had good replay value if they just balanced them like as they balance challenge quests and main story quests and stuff like that. It'd be very easy for them to make. And again, you don't need to make this new content something you have to do every day. You make it super optional, because a lot of players don't want to bother with that stuff, and that's fine. But you have so many players that do, that it's just silly not adding that stuff. Like, I'm just tired of everything being carried on a stick, and they just can't add fun. Like, it's crazy, dude. Alright, boys. That's enough ranting for one day. Let's raid somebody. But yeah, I got plenty more to talk about, but I'll get to that hopefully tomorrow. Let's see. Who's playing FGO right now? It looks like Hadroth is rolling right now, so I guess we'll wish him luck. I think he's going for Cast Territoria, so we'll raid him and see how he's doing. Alright, boys, thanks a lot for hanging out and listening to this jackass rant about stupid shit on the internet. I will see you all later, hopefully tomorrow.